YouTube because last time worked. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. Hello, YouTube. I love that on YouTube you can just see all the mess. You see all the mess in my room. Oh, also, guys, my friend got me this. I still haven't worn it out, but I'm so excited to do it. I'm not the biggest like merch person, but like, I love having merch. So yeah, I'm still coughing a little, but not as bad as it was last time. uh, where did I put the unchanging polaris? I have it somewhere here. Where are you? Oh, here you are. So we're gonna do chapter 5 and um let me share screen. Perfect. Oh my god. I'm so excited to do this because I don't know if Reef is here. Did I just manifest Reef? Is Reef here? Um, is there a new chapter? No, 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 no. This is Paris. This is fluffy. This is fluff. This is mostly fluff. Thank you, Paper Crane. This is mostly fluff. There has been some angsty parts, but it's just mostly fluff. We'll get to some angst later. Um, I'm I want to read more fluff stuff if I can. And after we're done with this, hi Reef. After we're done with this, I really want to finish the Unchanging Polaris this week so that we can start the art of spoiling pretty girls. And you know what? You know what? Hi Nats. Ooh, fluff from Reef. Yeah. After we finish Fluff by Jamie, we'll do Fluff from Reef. And you know what? I'm not reading Candy Floss here because we're already reading The Unchanging Polaris. But after I'm caught up with The Art of Spoiling Pretty Girls, I do want to read Candy Floss here. Because I really want to do like live readings of that one. Guys, streamer Zoe noticed me on Twitter. Streamer Zoe noticed me and I was like, I love you, streamer Zoe. And she was like, oh my god, I love you too. What's your favorite one you've read so far? I can't really give a favorite. It is I first of all, I don't want to. And also all of them are so different and all of them have like their good qualities, they're like maybe weaker qualities. So I don't want to judge anything. And like Toss also like made a tweet about this last week's a few days ago. I don't remember. But like we are all fans of this and we're all like making this stuff for fun, so it feels unfair to judge. It feels unfair to judge fan fiction, period, because it's like we are all making this for fun. We are reading this for fun. Um so I don't know. I'm not the judge of that. Yeah. Maybe that's maybe some of y'all think, "Oh, you're I don't know what y'all think about that. I just don't want to be the person to judge." Ray Army peak? True. I don't know when we started talking about Ray Army. I just want what I make to be enjoyed. And exactly. Why is killing Rumi becoming a fandom-wide hobby? Understand why, considering her character. But also, I haven't read They Found Her in the Dirt by the Tree. I haven't read that. I know she dies there. Like it is this is not me spoiling it if anyone hasn't read it. It is like known in the summary of it. So I haven't read that. So I actually have not read a fic where Rumi dies. I killed her in my own fic, so I can't judge. I'm not judging. I'll say it makes sense. It makes sense to like kill her like considering her character. Do I Love it? Uh, I don't know. I haven't read any of it, so I can't even say anything about that. I have never killed Ruby. Thank you. Thank you, Reeve. I appreciate that. Um, I was gonna leave my hair like this, but I think I'm gonna put it up because it's so hot. It is so hot here all the time, and it's so humid. Um, so we're putting it up, and we'll leave the little. Yeah, those ones make me too sad to read. I want to read it eventually, like off stream. I like talked about the like idea of I had an idea of maybe reading it online, but I was like, nah, actually, this is like dead dove don't eat shit. So I would rather do that myself than like traumatize a bunch of people. She redeems herself. No way she thought she needed to. Need to redeem yourself. Great. Don't make me sad about Rumi right now. We're having fluff time, okay? We're having fluff time. Okay. So this chapter is hashtag Zorumi moments. We're doing Zorumi finally. I'm so excited. Toss just tweeted being like, what is y'all's favorite like two-person dynamic in the like in Polytrix? Mine is Zomira. And I'm like, Toss, how dare you separate them? I understand. I understand. Because they're all like very different and like you can have a preference, but I'm like, Toss, how dare you? But I'm excited for Zorumi. I will be honest, the movie, my first like thought with the like ships was boop, boop, Rumira, because also like I feel like Rumira especially is like very it's very like emphasized in the movie. It's like they have this whole conflict going on, and like yes, Zomira happens. Zorumi, we get moments and stuff, but like Rumira really like gets some attention. So like my first thought was, ooh, Rumira. But right now I'm at a point where like I don't really want to read fics where they're like separated. Like the only separate relationship fic I've read, like the two-person ship of Polytrix fic I read was Toss's Zomira fic. Zomira AU. But yeah, other than that I haven't. I think they belong together. But separating the girls rude as hell. No, exactly. That's kind of what I think. That's why I don't read other stuff. Please let Rumira be canon. I beg. I want. If it were up to me, I would have Polytrix be canon, and like that would be it. But Zomira is the most likely to be canon, I think. Interesting. I wonder. Now I'm thinking, like, would any of them? Would Sony and Netflix have the? I guess whoever becomes the like becomes the people who make it. I guess Sony is not making it anymore, but like I don't know if they would have the courage to make any of them canon. But like if I could choose, I would just make Polytrix canon. I mean they made oh that's true. Considering the consider and how people love like this is not for like gay people is not for children, like even though the Owl House exists. I haven't watched Shira, so I can't say anything, but like I don't know, we should just make it canon at this point, but I don't know, I feel like they're cowards. I feel like people are more likely to be cowards. I mean they already mentioned the poly ship. They did, but they which is great that we got that moment still. Even though we got that, it was more like played off for jokes. So I don't know if they would actually go with doing an actual poly ship. So But if they did, it would be awesome. It would be really awesome. I'm gonna turn on the gain on this because last time when I checked, hello, hello, hello. I'm turning it on. Yeah, I'm turning it on. Okay. I always forget which way is up with the microphone. Do you know Warrior Nun? I don't. The director said it's not meant for kids, I thought. I mean, it it's weird, right? Because it's like with animated stuff, especially like Western made stuff, the main demographic is usually still mainly kids. Even though like they can say, oh, it's for the whole family. But like you see the karaoke buses and like you see the sing-alongs, and it's a lot of children. So even if it wasn't like meant for kids, it wasn't specifically meant for adults either. And like with animation, unfortunately, it is like the baseline idea. The idea is that it would be for kids unless it was like specifically an adult animation. But whatever. Let Zoe have a gun. This is the aquarium chapter. That's the Zorumi. Zorumi. On the other hand, Dana Terrace's new project looks so good. Now she's free from Disney. Yeah, yeah. I am excited for it. I haven't been following it that much, but I do follow Dana Terrace. So I bet it'll be awesome. She's so talented. Yippee, I love this chapter. On the clock, but not working. I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're napping. So I just started reading Two's Company, just finished the first chapter. Good luck, soldier. It's a long way to go. It's a long. Without spoilers, what should I prepare myself for? It's going to be a lot of. It's going to be slow burn. It's going to be a lot of miscommunication. It's going to be a lot of, oh my god, just talk about it. And then once they get together, shit will go down in other ways. So can't nap when there's an arty stream. I appreciate you. Rachel, oranges. Yeah, everyone spam oranges. Rachel, oranges. Take this. It's dangerous to go. Yeah, it takes a turn is all I'll say. Before it takes a turn, it's so funny because someone made that like chart of like Polytrix authors on Twitter, right? And they described Two's Company as angst. And I was like, Two's Company didn't used to be angst all the time. It like recently became more angsty because of what happened. But like it was a lot of fluff. They went to that freaking wing place and like burned their mouths. That was fun. I adore this fic so much. It's definitely my. Yeah, okay, guys, I'm talking again. I'm gonna start this. There's a reason we are known as Orange Nation. What are your favorite fics so far, Zara? I said this before. But first of all, I'm not ranking them. But I'll say just off the top of my head, like Two's Company, obviously. I've been loving Candy Floss. I love If It's Nice to with Thrice. I'm following Where the Sky Breaks West. Where the Sky Breaks West is like, it's just so heavy, but really well written. Like those are the main ones I'm following right now. And there's also if you like smut, there is None of Us Are Out Here. Which I'll say this. Everyone keeps being like, oh, Leah is smut Jesus. Was it chapter 4 of None of Us Are Out Here? Is such a good character study for Mira. I think it was chapter 4. Like, I was reading that and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Why is this in like a smut heavy fic? It's so good. Like, that fic, I know it's known for its smut, but it has some of my favorite writing moments. Like, there are moments that I don't agree with what's happening, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, why is this written like this? It's so good. I'm like, But yeah. So those are a few. I have so many college fics like Hatred of Three and Shape of My Heart. Hatred of Three and Shape of My Heart. I have so many that have been recommended to me, but I'll add this to the mark for later, like to my 100 plus fics and marked for later. Shape of My Heart. And I would also recommend, if you're looking for fluff stuff, Reef's one shots are very, very cute. I'm reading Reef's other I'm reading Learning to Love, Really Love by Reef Writing right now. And like Reef knows about this. I'm going very slow. Because I get distracted. A girl has ADHD. But it's really cute. And it's post canon. But they're being really sweet. My friend refuses to fully binge Two's Company until Celsius canon. Me and Artie on the same brain cells. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get started because I can keep talking forever when I'm on stream for some reason. When I'm actually talking with people, it's like I can't keep talking forever. But when I'm on stream, it feels like it's kind of an echo chamber, and I just like keep talking. Anyways, chapter 5, hashtag Zorumi moments. The notes are funny, so I'll read it. There are 3 things in the Polytrix world that I'm glad will always be canon no matter what. Rumi is a bottom, Zoe is a freak, and Mira is the world's biggest lover girl. We heart lover girl Mira in this house. We love lover girl Mira. Also, special thanks to my 17 tabs of fish facts and wolf eels Google pics, the 3 documentaries on cuttlefish, and Oomphy Cardi info dumping about fish in my DMs. This is a 23K chapter. Enjoy the 23K chapter full of fish facts. I hope you learned something new like I did. Jamie loves their fun facts is what I've also noticed from Candy Floss. Good for them. Like coming at us with like shark facts. Lover girl Rumi, you're in my fic Artie. I hope you're ready. I'm so ready. Is a big one. I have scheduled this live until 10. We'll see how long this takes. Woo! And I'm already sweating, guys. Do you get what I mean when I say it's hot as hell? It's hot as hell. Anyway. Despite her deepest denial and the fact that she would rather die than admit it, Mira likes to look through what's trending on her socials once in a while. Or more like once a day, at the minimum. It's addicting. She will admit that much. It's like a goddamn infection. It also doesn't help that spending all her time gambling and checking the tabs for that little high with the word polytricks and pictures of her girls sending giddy shocks through her system in a way that she can't ever understand crashes down on her during one early morning. Mira has more riches than most people in the world. Money, power, and the giggles Zoe and Rumi press against her neck when they watch comedy movies come to mind. Also, I'm now remembering that Zoe has noticed that she has feelings for them. The other 2 have not. We are over halfway through this fic, by the way. Like, anyway. Anyway. But she has an inkling that looking at the trending tab today is akin to going all in at a poker table and losing everything in a span of 4 minutes. Her brother is trending, along with her name. Their family name is trending. Great. Even seeing the name, it makes it hard to breathe. It takes her therapist said to her, of her fingers on the counter, the smell of bacon in her name in delicate, concerned loops on their tongues. Mira faintly remembers telling Zoe and Rumi that she needs to excuse herself from breakfast and that she'd be back. She remembers telling them not to worry about her and that she'll talk once she cools down. She remembers the way that they looked at her, as if they were looking right through her, piercingly kind and understanding, and yet all too concerned. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, she remembers repeating to them. She squeezed both of their shoulders, smiled at them in that faint way to let them know that she'd be okay. She remembers feeling the urge to kiss away their worried frowns. When Jamie uses brackets, you know some shit is going. When Jamie uses parentheses, you know that some shit is some shit is going down. Like, girl! Somehow, it's the only memory from that morning that's crystal clear in the forefront of her mind. It's 9 in the morning now, and Mira has been in her private studio for well over a couple hours. The sweat that drips from her body coats her shirt in splatters of grayed out splotches. She can feel her hair sticking to her temples. Mira bends over at her waist to catch her breath. She can see her phone still recording her out of the corner of her eye. It's almost surprising that her phone hasn't sent her a notification that her storage was running out, what with all the recording and posting she's been doing. Posting dance covers at ungodly bouts of the morning wasn't in her original plan to spend the day, but her therapist is out of the country for the next 2 weeks, and dancing was better than falling down the rabbit hole and breaking something in her parents' house, just like she used to before. She's so real. Mira closes her eyes and focuses on slowing her heartbeat. She has to swallow back some air to her lungs, and she almost chokes on it. Sometimes she wishes she could dance forever and never get tired. It would have helped with all the times she had to cram making choreographies for them. She snatches up her phone from its tripod and walks over to the corner of the studio. Her back presses up against the smooth tiles of the wall, and she slides down against it. Her breathing is finally beginning to return to normal. She swipes out of her camera app to stare at her home screen. Not that she meant to. It was just that her wallpaper of Zoe and Rumi smiling wide at the camera with their windswept hair on top of the Ferris wheel always manages to take her breath away no matter how many times she says. She's really lover girl, and I need her to get her shit together. I need her. Oh my god. Oh god. Her thumb runs over their pictured smiles. It swipes some it swipes some of her apps around, and Mira loosens a breath. She feels steady enough to check, finally. If looking at it drove her crazy again, she could just call up Zoe and Rumi and rant to them while they peel down the highway like they often do. Predictably, her brother is still trending. As heir of their conglomerate family, he's on that trending list at least once a month. That's not what scared her. It's the fact that he was saying her name. I love some. Okay. Her brother has never believed that he would now. Finally clicks on the tag. It sends her and links about the article where her brother was interviewed. Most of the posts are of Huntrix fans defending her from its contents, while others take to being a devil's advocate. Mira has to resist the urge to roll her eyes into the back of her head. This is the millionth time it's happened since she debuted, but it's the same way it did the first time. The person interviewing him in the article asked him about what he thought of his sister who had broken records with her second solo album a couple months ago. Ooh, his sister who toured in over 20 cities in 6 months. His sister whose face is the front cover of Grace and Pop Excellence. And his sister whose group is about to release a new album in a week. It's only one line from the article where he puts her name in his mouth. Just one. And all he had said was, well, I think Mira's enjoying all the attention she's getting for once. Pew, 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 pew. This is me shooting. This is me shooting her brother. Oh my god. There's another fic that I had read that I like left it in the middle. It is finding 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 Our Harmony is the name, I think. It's by Fawn, who wrote the first Polytrix fic on AO3 ever. And in that version, Mira's brother is actually like portrayed as like a better person who's like on Mira's side, and I like really like that version of her brother. But everyone loves making her brother just a shitbag, which is also fun. Anyway, it's not even the meanest thing in her family has said to her, not nearly, but it still cuts her throat like a bayonet, and Mira has to swipe away from the tag before it could burn her for any longer. Mira knows that there wasn't a single chance that someone in her family could ever want her. Blood has never been thicker than water, but it's something that she's accepted a long, long time ago. Seeing a professional helped, and so was having a family that she built on her own. A family in Zoe and Rumi was 1,000 times better than the family she grew up with. She wouldn't trade them for the world. Never. So, realistically, she knew that she would be fine. It would only take a couple hours or days before the thought of her brother dismissing her as too different and attention seeking would fade away from her mind, replaced by Zoe's laughter, Rumi's whines whenever she would hang the coffee away from her reach, Zoe cuddling up to her arm whenever they'd walk, their insistence to brush her hair for her, their her phone vibrates. At the top, she sees the preview of her latest notification, Bobby, despite herself. We get little text. If you're on YouTube, you are seeing this right now, but we have little text boxes. It's so cute. So these are texts from Bobby. What's Bobby's voice again? Hey Mira, just checking up on you after what he who shall not be named said. Need anything? Water, a reservation to your fav hot pot place, a trip to the Maldives? I'm fine, Bobby. Thanks though. Bobby's three dots pop up above her keyboard. It dances there for a couple seconds, then disappears, then reappears. Mira swipes away from their conversation to open up her Tetris app. Sure. Of course she plays Tetris. Just as she clears her first three lines, her phone vibrates again. Just FYI, I hope you don't ever listen to a word your ex family says about you. Your real family loves you. Hashtag never forget that. The laugh that comes out of her throat almost surprises her. It strains her voice, but it's genuine, even in its crackly delivery. Her phone vibrates again. This time, the notification pushes her brows up to her hairline. BTW, Rumi and Zoe say hi. And, and Zoe just told me that you might like a Jet 2 holiday. Would you like that? Not a Jet 2 holiday. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can. We are done with that trend. It's over. It's gone. I know. I'm sorry. I was kind of sick of it. Was funny. It was an earworm, but I am kind of sick of hearing it. Mira responds, lol. Wait, they're with you right now? Yes, sir. We just got some exciting news. They're it. Mira's breath warms her right up in a way that's less sticky and gross like her sweat from dancing and more warm and golden. Her thumbs fly over her phone, and her answer is instant. Yeah, sure. Bobby's selfie covers up her entire screen. Mira takes a deep breath to steady herself before answering. Sitting on the Heart studio floor is beginning to make her ass ache, but it was better than pacing around the studio with her squeaky feet, so she stays right where she is. Her nails dig her knee, though, just to give herself something to do. Mira! Zoe's voice screams excitedly over the phone. Mira winces and she pulls her phone back to check if it's been accidentally put on speaker. It has not. The power of Zoe. I thought you were jamming with Rumi? Mira asks. Yeah, but that's not important, Zoe says quickly. Mira hears her shuffling around on the other end, and the sound of Rumi's light giggles somewhere in the room. So, guess what? Zoe asks excitedly. What? Mira replies. Mira! Zoe whines. It makes the corners of Mira's mouth quirk up. She wraps her arm over her stomach and leans against the wall until the back of her head presses against it. She's always loved playing with Zoe like that. She thinks to herself for a moment. Her tongue runs over the inside of her cheek while she thinks of all the things that could have happened before breakfast and now. Got booked for another photo shoot? Mira guesses as best as she can. She hears Zoe make a noise, the same one she'd make to pair with the shake of her head. It makes Mira laugh again. It definitely does for Rumi, if the giggle somewhere on the other end is her. Uh, did Rumi finally yes to playing that game with you? She guesses again. There's some more shuffling on the phone. Then Rumi complains into the mic. You know I'd never touch that stupid game, even if just one time. You never know. I can even carry you. Zoe pleads. You're in bronze. How do you even know that? I watch your streams. Zoe coos. Oh, really? You do? Rumi, that's so. Wait. Hey, did you just call me trash at. I love that we have just accepted that streamer Zoe as canon, like in every universe, even when they're famous. It's great. It's awesome. I low key hope that we get Zoe streams in the sequel. Reading the Unchanging Polaris. Thank you, Danny. This is the first thing of Unchanging Polaris I've ever experienced. It shouldn't be too spoily. Like it's just like mostly them being in love and being fluffy as hell. So it should be fine if this is your first. This is chapter 5. But it should be fine if you're here just to chill. More shuffling. The mental image of them fighting over Bobby's phone and Bobby standing there in the corner makes Mira bark out a laugh. So, am I ever going to find out what it is? Or Mira muses. She can't keep the smile out of her tone, even if she wanted to. Hearing their voices has always parted the clouds in her sky, no matter how thick and thundery they might be. Oh, right, Zoe says quickly. She clears her throat. Then there's some more static on the other end of the line before Mira hears her exclaim, told us that we got invited to have a private tour of an aquarium. So it is the aquarium chapter. Mira sits up at that. Wait, seriously? Says again. And Mira can already imagine her bobbing her head up and down in fast succession. Mira takes over from there, which is a good thing, Mira reckons, considering that Zoe would probably sit there and talk for the next 5 hours about it. Not that Mira would have minded. Get your shit together, Mira. Huntrix has been sponsoring the aquarium since debut, Bob explains, all while Zoe and Rumi are chattering somewhere in the background. So the aquarium wanted to finally repay you guys the best way they can. I think they said they named their new green sea turtles after you three and wanted to get a picture of you guys with them. Zoe squeals. Did you know that green sea turtles can be found in more temperate waters like California? I remember when I was 8. It's tonight, Bobby interrupts. Not unkindly. Mira appreciates it. She knows that they would have missed it altogether if he hadn't spoken up. It's very last minute, so they let me know that we could just say the word and they could reschedule the tour whenever. We can go, Mira says. She scratches her knee in thought and adds, I mean, I can. I don't know about Zoe and Rumi. I can, Rumi pipes up. I haven't met a turtle before. I want to know how they feel on your palm. Wait, Zoe, you put them on your palm, right? Zoe laughs, full and happily. Not the green sea turtles. You're so silly. The green sea turtles are the big ones. Unless we get the juveniles, you won't be able to hold them. You might be thinking of yellow-bellied sliders. They're the smaller ones that you can keep in a dorm room. When I saw, I made a TikTok about this before, but I was um on vacation and like we went to the beach and I swam with a green sea turtle and it was the greatest thing ever. It was this big. It was this big. It was huge and it was incredible. It was incredible. They're so majestic to me. Oh my god. So yeah, they're huge. Really? Rumi asks. She sounds excited. So the big ones are named after us? They are. Something about the genuine excitement makes Mira feel instantly refreshed. It's better than any cold drink she could have after her hours of cardio in a hot studio. What time do we have to what time do we have to be ready by? Mira asks, and she hates that she has to ask it. She wanted to hear the two of them ramble and talk about turtles over the phone for hours if she could. The turtles are ready after six, so anytime after that, Bobby tells her succinctly. She strains her ears to listen for Rumi and Zoe, but she can't hear either of them while Bobby continues to explain. It renders her slightly disappointed. I could order you girls some food for dinner, then have a chaperone come drive you right after. How's that sound? You don't need to bother with the chaperone, Mira says, fingernails dragging over her bare, sweaty knee. I have a ride figured out, but dinner would be great, Bobby. Rumi asks, What were you thinking for dinner? You and Zoe is on the tip of her tongue. Like, I know we talked about. Okay, whatever. Um, Again, you can say this to your friends, jokingly. Maybe not when Bobby is there. But I'm just like, girl, it is so obvious that you're. Oh my god, thank you. Mira is down bad. This is so funny. It is so funny to be reading this fic because between the last reading the last chapter of the fic and now we have a full like fake polycule on Discord and like everyone is flirting like this. While knowing that it's like entirely platonic, and now I'm just like my brain is so confused because I went on a whole rant about like platonic versus romantic and how romantic like you have to be a little romantic with your platonic friends and all that. But I was like, there's a line, and now I'm like, is there a line? Does the line exist? Is the line in the room with us? Fake. Fake. You know what I mean. We love each other. We love each other. It is platonic, guys. No, no line. As I said before, you do have to be in love with your friends. The lines are invisible. The lines are not there. Okay. Mira almost punches herself in the throat. Flirting while Bobby was right there shouldn't be an option. That's what I'm saying. Hell, why was it even an option? Instead, Mira replies with a deliberate and even probably something light. I know Zoe will bounce all over the place and she probably doesn't want to end up puking. Zoe sighs dreamily. You get me so hard, Bubs. Always, Mira says proudly. Rumi hums. How do you feel about trying that restaurant we found last week? I heard they make a mean sundubujige. The one with the giant duck on the logo? Mira asks. She gets an affirmative hum in return. I'm down. Zoe? Sure, Zoe says. Actually, wait. Mira can hear them moving around on the other end, and she hears one of them whisper, Bobby, can you? Before everything else becomes unintelligible. She presses her ear closer to her phone to try to decipher it, but all she hears after that is Bobby whispering his agreement and the sound of a door closing quietly shut. There's a beat of silence, then Zoe softly asks, if you want to reschedule the aquarium visit, we can. It startles her. Why would she want to do that? She almost asks, but then she remembers before it leaves the tip of her tongue. Ah, She always forgets that trending means that everyone could see it. I see. It's fine, Zoe, she says instead. You love going to aquariums, and I know Rumi loves learning about the animals. So, Rumi answers instead, we could always do that any other time. If you're not feeling up to it after, we could just stay home. We can still order the tofu stew and watch something on the couch. Mira laughs. She can tell it confuses the both of them when they go silent. So Mira answers, you're both sweet. But seriously, I don't care enough about them to let it affect me seeing some cute ass turtles tonight. Are you sure? Zoe asks, still slightly unconvinced. You're not going to think about it while we're there? Rumi asks on top of it. Of course I won't, Mira says. You're serious? Rumi presses. I'm telling the truth. She lies sincerely. Lie sincerely is such an interesting phrase. At least she won't be thinking about it too much, just maybe once or twice. We need to free her. We need to free our girl from the chains that bound her to her family, I guess. Oh, Mira, Mira, Mira. Okay. They relent in the end, finally. Their excitement begins to build up again, with their voices growing steadily higher and louder, and it makes Mira happy. She doesn't regret her decision even a tiny bit. Plus, her therapist always said that distractions helped in times like this. So was surrounding herself with a good support system. Zoe and Rumi must count. She wouldn't want anyone else revolving in her system anyway. What are you thinking of doing until dinner time? Rumi asks her. You should join us, Zoe says excitedly. Her voice sounds so close to the mic that it briefly pops, and Mira has to press her lips to keep from laughing. Rumi doesn't feel like playing the guitar today, so I was thinking that you could. I brought my effect pedals. Maybe, Mira tells her gently. She rubs the back of her neck and rolls her shoulder. A groan passes her lips at the feeling. She'll probably need a good massage from Rumi and Zoe after this. She tries to hint at it by adding, neck's kind of stiff today, though. Do you think you could ask Bobby if our masseuse... We could do it, Rumi and Zoe say at the same time. Oh my god, they're so cutie. Mira has to bite down on the inside of her cheek to keep from grinning. Thanks, babes, she says genuinely, pecking her lips over the phone. It makes Zoe giggle, even though she can tell that she's trying to muffle it by leaning away from the mic. Rumi has to clear her throat. It'll save some money, she explains. It would have been a great excuse had it not been for the fact that their recent paycheck had zeros extending over the paper. Rumi realizes it too, and she tries to rectify it quickly by saying, and saving time too. Right, Mira drawls. She doesn't feel like teasing them too much today. She had ample opportunity later tonight. Plus, they're doing her a favor by unstiffening her neck anyway. I'll head down after I shower. Want me to pick up anything on the way? Just you and your fine self, Zoe says. I just added an ass there. Just you and your fine self, Zoe says casually. It makes Rumi laugh over the phone. Mira's not sure which one of them made her smile. It's almost it's almost most likely both of them. I'll be there soon, Mira promises them. She's already getting up to leave the dance studio. It would be a shame for her to break any promise to them. Zoe squeals in delight over the phone. Drive safe, she tells Mira. Before Mira can pull the phone away from her ear, Zoe adds, Inota desu, guapa. What? Mira asks between her laughter. It's not uncommon for Zoe to slip into Spanish sometimes. It's great that we have like Candy Floss Zoe and this Zoe are just the same. Her American schooling, she's told them. It's just that she's been doing it a lot more lately, and it makes Mira wonder. But on the flip side, at least it's sexy. Not that Zoe has to know. Oh my god. It is sexy. It is. Speaking multiple languages is sexy, y'all. No, that Zoe has to know. I love Zoe. I love them. I love them so much. I love them. Nothing, Zoe says quickly and predictably. I'm gonna look up. I know what inotades means. I'm gonna look up what guapa means. Um. Ah, everything sucks. Why can't I just do the shortcut? Oh, it means pretty. I see. I see. I mean, you can say that. You can say that, Zoe. It's fine. Oh, Mira can hear Rumi asking about it in the background. She kisses Mira over the phone, and the line cuts. After static stretches and some foam rolling to rid herself of the knot over her shoulder blade, Mira packs up her things and drives back home. Her enough time to think and clear her sinuses. In her car helps. Rumi and Zoe's solos. Okay. This always helps her think. Their apartment is quiet when she arrives. There's no bickering about which pan to use for pancakes or a mix of pop song over their speakers. She misses it, but at least the silence helps with her pre-showering routine, folding clothes from the dryer even if it isn't hers. It's Rumi's this time, judging from the looks of her purple underwear. Great, 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 great to know that. Great to know that. Eating a banana and some rearranging on her corkboard to make more room for more photo booth pictures of her girls in the near future. They're so cute. Mira tries to relax in the shower. The hot water helps, and she tips her head back to breathe in deeply with her eyes closed. Pelts of water hit her back in a gentle cascade, and it temporarily washed away her worries. Being in the shower is a nice fragment of Eden. It's especially gratifying on a morning like this, with its terrible start and lack of controlled chaos from Rumi and Zoe. Mira dries herself off and throws on some comfortable sweats. Her hair is thoroughly dried with the expensive hair dryer that Zoe got for her on a whim last year. She had called it an impulse purchase when she got it, but now she sees its value. Mira considers giving Zoe an apology gift one of these days when she puts on some lotion. While she puts on some lotion. Bah. She hears her phone buzz on the bathroom counter, so she mutes the music coming from her shower speaker and checks her lock screen. The picture of Zoe and Rumi, cheek to cheek, on her lock screen distracts her. It almost makes her self conscious in that rare little instance and wonders if Zoe and Rumi would find it odd that they're both her lock screen and home screen, and well, her laptop screensaver too, and Mira blinks. She lets her eyes slide up to the top notification before she could lose herself in it some more. Oh, if okay, Reef is here. Reef, I just want to let you know that the moment that like Mira completely like loses herself like in learning to love was like playing in my mind today. Yes, you. Um we were this is so random, but like I just thought of that while reading that. Like Mira's entire like Mira basically crumbling when it comes to like Zoe and Mira. But we were watching Haikyuu today. We were watching Haikyuu today, and it's my first time watching it. But like something similar happened to Kageyama, and I was like, I read a moment like this yesterday in Reef's fic. So I just want to mention that. Mira losing all sense of control is everything to me. It's great. What chapter was that? Um, was it 13 or 14? It's the part where Rumi is like choreographing their stuff, making new choreography, and she like extends her arm and like looks at Mira, and Mira completely forgets the choreography and is like, "Ooh, brain malfunction," and like falls down. Yeah, I really like that. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, let's continue. This is why I can't read fics quickly. I get distracted. She falls for her girl. Yeah, she does. Okay. Some famous solo artist just liked one of her dance covers from this morning and commented something about her talent. She's heard some of her songs before, and she knows that Rumi in particular quite likes her. Maybe she can brag about it to Rumi later at the rehearsal studio. Mira opens up the notification to give it a like. She snorts then. No doubt that her fans and the poor artist will be going straight on to their socials to start a hashtag with their names combined and hearts beside it. The tag would probably start trending in a couple hours or less, knowing them. Mira swipes at the shell of her ear with the towel draped over her shoulders and steps out of her steamy bathroom. She stares at her phone screen. A frown is beginning to tug on her lips. Oh no, I just saw a word. She knows that she shouldn't. Mira looks behind her, then around her room. She almost curses when she catches herself doing it. Why is she acting like giving the trending tags a little peek is illegal? Everyone does it. Hell, Zoe is still on her Polytrix fanfic kick. She even said she wanted to read something with OBO, ABA, ABO dynamics later tonight, whatever that is. Of course. Yeah, it is in fact canon that Zoe reads Omegaverse. I think we should accept this. We should accept this. Scratching the back of her ear with her towel, Mira bites the bullet and presses on a random social media app and taps on the little magnifying glass for its trending page. Her brother is still trending, but he's sitting at number 3. The one above it is something about a festival happening in Incheon. The one above that, and the tag sitting at number 1 like it's on a glorious throne, is hashtag Zorumi. It doesn't take a genius to know what the tag means. Mira finds herself thinking, they could at least have added they could have at least added one more letter so that they both had their full names in the damn tag. But it's a petty thought born from whatever conflict she feels in the heat of her stomach, and she knows it. Mira sits on the edge of her bed and brings her foot up to her lap to roll it while she scrolls through the posts. Unfortunately, she's a child of natural curiosity and rebellion. The first thing that she sees, and one that sits at nearly 100,000 likes, more likes than any of their fans' account have gotten in a while, Mira considers to herself, is a theory thread. It's crazy that Zorumi is getting the most likes. That's crazy. We get a lot of those. They get a lot of those from their fans, to be fair. Mira has seen theory threads from people who think that her glaring at the Saja boys meant that she was in a secret relationship with one or three of them, and threads of Rumi's mom's death possibly being associated with a publicity stunt. Ew, that's disgusting. I'm sorry. Once, Zoe even found a thread of someone theorizing that they were actual hunters for demons or ghosts. They frantically sent it to Bobby and asked him to take care of it, and despite his confusion at the idea of her girls freaking out over a silly joke theory, he made sure to have taken it down by the morning. I was actually thinking about this for a few days. You know, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I was gonna make a TikTok about it, but whatever, I might still make it. You know, like the line, "We are hunters, voice is strong" in Golden. Does that canonically exist in the song Golden in the universe? Like, do they call themselves hunters? Like, their name is Huntrix, so like, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about that because you know how it's like I don't know if that was supposed to be a musical theater moment of like, oh, we're getting to see Rumi's character, or if it actually exists in the bridge of the actual song in the universe. It's a little bit of a brain. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe their fan base is called Hunters. That is a thought. Like, I mean, it would make sense, but she calls themselves hunters. We are hunters. So I wonder if they are called, because I feel like fandom being called hunters would make sense. They could have double meanings, so it could work. They hunt men. They hunt men. That's really good. True. True, true, true. As well as the line about Rumi's patterns. I mean, that could be fine. It's like, put these patterns all in the past now. Patterns can have different meanings. But like hunters is very specific. I don't know. I had just been thinking about that like for a few days, and I'm like, it's such a nothing thing to think about, but I'm crazy. My brain loves to fixate on things. Anyway, this theory thread, however, entails no such thing. It's silly, really. It's just a thread about how the fan thinks that Zoe and Rumi have been in an almost decade long relationship. Mira snorts when she sees the caption for it. The fan had even gone so far as to edit a cover for their post thread with sparkles and glitter around a fan cam of Zoe and Rumi hugging at the Idol Awards a couple years ago. Zoe would certainly approve. Despite every part of her telling her not to pry and scroll away, Mira clicks on it. She thumbs through each post and skims it while she stifles a yawn. There's nothing of substance to note from it. It's just the usual things that people say about the three of them in every way under the, what tag was it? The one that started with a P. And a shit ton of fan cams and edits that makes Mira wonder how long it took the fan to put this together. The dedication is at least worth applauding. Her thumb holds onto the screen so she can read a particular post in it. Mira licks her lips while she reads, squinting and leaning over to her phone. Zoe and Rumi are extremely touchy with each other with every chance they can get. The caption reads, they're not like that with their other member, Mira. Suspicious. Ooh! Below the caption are two pictures. The one on the left is of Zoe and Rumi holding onto each other at a haunted house episode of a variety show. And the one on the right is of Zoe leaning her head on Rumi's shoulder, classic, with their hands clasped tightly together while they watch someone perform at the Idol Awards. Well, that is canon. That we did canonically get that. Like we got that at the fucking VMAs, so I'm not surprised. In both photos, Mira is substantially further away from them. Not by much, but enough to notice. Mira scrolls away from the post before it could poke at her any longer. But every post below it is worse than the last. Pictures and videos of Zoe and Rumi ravage the thread. They're holding hands, or hugging each other, or laughing together, or kissing each other on the cheek, or mumbling I love you against each other's ears and turning those pretty little shades of cherry blossoms. It's easy to dismiss them with the idea that it's just because this person didn't include all the times they've done it with her. Mira can still practically feel Rumi's hot breath against her jaw whenever she would whisper her drunken affections to her late into the night, or how Zoe's warm legs would wrap around her waist in the middle of the night when a breeze would pass through the open window. I mean, yeah, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Whisper her drunken affections sounds really crazy when it's written like that, but then I think about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's a friend thing to do as well. That is 100% a friend thing to do as well. Y'all never get drunk with your friends. Y'all never get drunk and be crazy affectionate with your friends. No, I'm genuinely asking because that's fair. That is fair. This whole fic is just me going like, would I do that? Would I do that with my friends? Would I do that with my friends? And right now, the only thing that I'm like, I wouldn't do that is like sleep with my friends. Because that feels like extremely intimate. I would cuddle. Cuddling is fine. But like sleeping with them every night, literally one of the gayest things I've ever read. This is chapter 5. The polycule is proof. You don't need to speak. True. Okay, okay. But this is how can she just look at them smiling at each other like this and not feel just a tiny bit out of her depth? This is exactly what Rumi was feeling, girl. They all have to feel it. They all have to feel it sometime. She knows that she has a family with an unbreakable bond. They've gone through hell and back, practically literally, and she knows that she could never lose that. Not for anything. But that doesn't mean that developments couldn't happen. She can't exactly pretend that she hasn't thought about it, that she hasn't thought about what those tags could imply and could mean for them, all of them, in some sort of capacity. She's tried her best to keep those thoughts objective. And for the most part, she likes to think that she's succeeded. Take now, for example. Sure, listening to a random fan with a radio host like this isn't the most ideal thing to do, but points can always be made. Mira's mouth feels dry. There's an odd ache on her shoulders, like an anchor pressing down on her back. And sure, she knows that she isn't as touchy as Rumi and Zoe. Rumi's so touch starved that she would bare her teeth at them if they stopped scratching her back at night. And Zoe gives hugs and kisses on the cheek like it's candy on Halloween night. Mira doesn't mind it, but that means that she doesn't crave it as often as they do, or seek it as often as they do, or do it as often as they do. Something in her chest mourns at the thought. Is that so bad? To not be as vocally wanting as those two? Girl, you're just like me. Me reading these fics on live is just me like, you're just like me. All of them. All of them are just like me. I get so. Is insecure the right word? Maybe. I guess insecure about like not being as touchy sometimes or like not making my affections clear. I'm like, girl, I get you. I get you. And I am a lover girl. Damn it, I am. Like, it is so hard. Okay. When she loves them quietly, with lock screens and a painstakingly handcrafted norige and whispered affections to their still sleeping bodies that they might never hear, is that wrong of her? Is it selfish of her to want to love more privately than they do? Does that make her the black sheep of her family again? No, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. They love you. They love you the way you are. Would they still love her even if she is? Yes. Yes. Mira swipes out of the thread and checks the other posts in the tag. Like an idiot, she thinks that looking at other stupid posts could override her feelings on the thread. It doesn't, obviously. She sees a few pictures of Zoe and Rumi, adorable and smiley, and she thinks they're perfect together. They're all thinking the same thing. This is exactly like my feelings when I was reading Two's Company, like the early chapters of Two's Company. I'm like, you guys are all thinking the same thing, and I just need you guys to talk. I just need you guys to talk. Like, oh my god. Ugh. And in the back of the fiery pits of her mind, she also thinks, if not me, then at least let it be them. Mira turns off her phone and gets up from her bed before she could spiral deeper in her thoughts. She makes a note on her corkboard to do some reflecting on her midnight walk tonight after the aquarium. It would be awful of her to keep those thoughts tangled for too long. That much she knows. She gets into her car and slams her car door so hard that she grimaces. God, what an awful start to her day. Her drive to the rehearsal studio doesn't take very long, Bobby made sure to find one jam sessions or needed to tweak hear them singing before she even makes it to the door. Each step down the hallway lifts the weight off her back more and more, and she can feel the smile on her face by the time she opens the door to reveal two of her most favorite smiley people in the world. Mira! Greets excitedly, and and she tosses her guitar aside to lunge for her in a bear hug. Mira can hear the guitar land somewhere awkwardly in the room, echoing discordantly, and in her mouth. She swallows it back when pulls her nose against her neck and tightens her hold. Mira wraps her arms around Zoe's waist and idly rocks them. Mira peeks at Rumi over Zoe's head. Rumi's smiling at them with that lopsided grin of hers, the goofy, unrestrained one that makes Mira huff out a laugh no matter what. But her skin on Mira's white. Rumi murmurs to her. Zoe still has her head buried against the crook of her neck, still enjoying the thing. Mira can feel Rumi's warm palm on her skin like it's a brand. She almost wishes that it could actually brand her, claim her. Almost, but at the same time, maybe she actually does. Me remembering the M and R tattoos and candy floss. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, my brain is rotted with Rumira X's, and I'm like, Jamie, when I get you. Jamie, when I get you for giving me emotional damage. Jesus Christ. Mira rubs her hand over Zoe's back and uses the other to squeeze Rumi's wrist. Better now that I'm here. Better now that I'm here, she says truthfully. She glances at the instruments strewn around the room. Ooh! She bites back a snort to ask, "Were you singing Paramore?" Now I know what we're playing at the end of the stream. Okay. Zoe pulls back to look at her and whines. They have some good songs to jam to. They do. I'm scared about Paramore, y'all. Y'all listen to Parachute by Hayley Williams? I'm scared. Why are they going through their rumors era? Anyways, this is not related. I wasn't doubting you, Mira drawls. She looks around the room and takes note of the rest of the things around. Books are thrown haphazardly across their couch. One of them open to a random page with scribbled lyrics that Mira has never seen before, which means it must be new. Teddy bear is draped over the keys of the keyboard, sleeping on the job from the looks of it. Okay, I'm getting that Candy Floss and the Unchanging Polaris can be in the if they weren't like completely different, but like the similarities, like the teddy bear and stuff. Oh my god. Unfortunately, because I'm reading a Jamie fic, I'm thinking about Candy Floss. Unfortunately. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Mira shrugs out of her corduroy jacket and hangs it on a nearby hook. She's already sweating. Before she could even glance at the thermometer in the corner, Rumi adjusts it with a flick of the wrist. Thanks, Mira says, mildly surprised. She blinks, and Zoe takes her by the hand to tug her to the couch to sit down with them. Zoe practically shoves a guitar into her stomach. It makes Mira laugh, breathless and wild, while Rumi is already situating herself in front of the piano and gently pushing her teddy bear to the side like she didn't want to disturb its sleep. Zoe is maniacally flipping through her pages, babbling something about how she had a dream that they sang a really cool pop rock song that she wanted to try with them before they left for the aquarium. Pop rock polytricks would freaking rule. I would love that. They go through their warm-up scales with harmonious precision. Rumi sounds almost better than she had the day before, and Mira can't help but comment, "You sound like an angel, Rumi." She had meant for it to come out like a tease, but her warm sincerity overrides it, and Rumi smiles at her with that coy quality and jabs her gently in the ribs like she's warning her to knock it off. Zoe shoves the scribbled lyrics into her face. Without her glasses, Mira has to squint to adjust to the way Zoe's writing curls in jagged, smudged letters on the lines. She can make out some of the lyrics, and it's surprisingly more romantic than she had thought it would be for a pop rock song. You think pop rock songs can't be romantic, girl? Girl, pop rock songs are crazy romantic. That is gay. They are very gay. Oh, there's lag. There's sometimes lag. I just hope that my voice doesn't lag much. I gotta go read New Two's Company real quick. There's New Two's Company? I need to read Candy Floss. They are AUs of each other is so real. Pop rock has to be romantic. No, yeah. Is there new? There cannot be. Not this quick. Just talking about the sorry, I thought I was gonna burp. Reading for a long time will make you feel like burping. That is what I have learned. I just swallow so much air. Okay. Do you like it? Zoe asks earnestly, lowering her notebook from Mira's nose. She's sitting on Mira's lap, and Mira has one hand on her waist to keep, or so she rationalizes. Zoe's chewing on her lower lip. She seems nervous, but Mira can't fathom why. Doesn't she know that she likes everything that's born from Zoe's mind? She would rather die than ever say that she hated it in the slightest. It's really good, Zoe. It's really good, Zoe, Mira tells her genuinely. Thinking of turning it into a single? She curls her finger and taps it twice under Zoe's chin. Zoe's lips stretch into a happy grin, and she giggles and scrunches up her shoulders like Mira had tickled her. Probably not for a while, Zoe says slowly, looking at the corner of the room to think. She's bouncing a little on Mira's lap, like her energy seems to know no bounds. There's still some kinks I need to work out, like flaws wise. The other thing. Pretty sure I'm all good with the other thing. What other Rumi begins? Please don't, Mira says quickly. Zoe laughs, wriggles on her lap, then flips around on her notebook while she adds, "Yeah, it's gonna go through some more workshopping, but I think I'm liking it so far. I'm just stuck on the bridge. I remembered that you wrote something that could work for it, but I can't remember which. Maybe it's in the yellow notebook?" Mira suggests, nodding towards her. "It's the one that you let me and Rumi write." Zoe exclaims, "Oh my god, you're onto something." Zoe kisses her on the tip of the nose. That's so cute. She jumps up from her lap, and Mira is already starting to miss her warmth. Her hand instinctively reaches out for Zoe when she leaves, but she drops it the moment she realizes it's late. She is so I'm gonna plug in my computer real quick because it's dying. It's a dying. Here's my little. Okay. Let's plug it in. Oh, not there. Uh, guys, she's so in love. She's so smitten, and thank God. Oh, please work. Uh, trying to reach the cable. Oh my God, guys, you're not seeing it, but I have like this fuck ass exercise bike in my room that I don't use that I need to get rid of, and it's making everything so much more difficult. Okay, we're good now. We're good now. Yay! Okay. Mira can feel Rumi's gaze burning into the side of her cheek, and she start with me. Rumi giggles. She puts her head on Mira's shoulder to scroll through her phone while Zoe looks through her pile of notebooks. Want me to put on a song? Rumi calls out. I guess imagine I just called that out. Anything you want, calls back. Rumi shows Mira her phone. She has it open to a playlist on one of her streaming apps, particularly the playlist that Mira had put together for her and Zoe during their third comeback. She has to clear her throat while she scrolls through the songs with her forefinger. Some of these songs are so cheesy. What the hell was she thinking? Mira taps on the song that's the least corny. Rumi snorts like she knows, and Mira has to swat her phone away to get her to stop. The song plays softly around the room. Zoe hums Zoe hums to it at the same time that Rumi does, and Mira has to school her features to keep from looking surprised. She didn't exactly think that they would remember the songs she recommended to them from how many years ago? "Kay, I found it, but try not to mind the stain on the corner," Zoe says quickly. She hands the yellow notebook over to Rumi, who holds it between her thumb and forefinger like it might explode on her. There is a suspicious brown stain that takes up a quarter of the pages. At least it's dry, Rumi tries. Mira laughs, and it comes in the form of a restrained snort. Rumi knocks her knee into hers. It only makes her grin grow wider. As mini revenge, Rumi puts the yellow notebook on Mira's lap. Mira's nose wrinkles, and Zoe laughs. "It's not like radioactive or something, right?" Mira asks, half seriously. "It's just my drink," Zoe says offhandedly. She jumps on the couch across from them to fiddle with her acoustic guitar, tongue sticking out and everything. There is Pilk in the Unchanging Polaris as well. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. Why is there Pilk everywhere? I mean, this is Jamie. I just didn't know there was Pilk before Candy Floss. No. Oh my god. "It's just my drink," Zoe says. What drink? What drink?" Rumi asks slowly. She shares a glance with Mira. "The regular kind, silly," Zoe replies like it's the most obvious thing in the world. She's tuning up the strings. "I was just drinking milk and soda." "Milk and soda?" Mira tries desperately to clarify. Milk is not great, Polytrix. It is not. It is not. It is weird, and it makes you feel like you want to keep drinking it because it's weird, but it's not great. "Huh?" says Zoe. Rumi scoots away from Mira braves the storm anyway. She sighs through her flips to the first page. And the crunch that the page makes between her fingertips make her wince. Zoe is peacefully playing guitar as a warm up. I don't know if I have Pepsi left, but I will say I am tempted to drink Pilk on stream right now, just so you guys can witness it. No, I don't know if I have Pepsi left. Anyways, I probably don't. I'm the fact that I'm genuinely thinking this right now. I still need to try the Slim Jim Gusher thing that Toss was talking about. I have to find the Slim Jim and Gushers to do that, but I know y'all are concerned about my stomach. This fandom needs help. We do. We do. I just didn't know we had Pilk in the Unchanging Polaris. If we had Pilk in the Unchanging Polaris, why did it suddenly become a thing with Candy Floss? On Twitter, at least. Like, It was a thing on here. Like, I know it was a thing before this. That's not what I'm talking. But in the Jamie verse, I guess, in the Polytrix verse, woman to woman, don't. The thing is, I have tried it. I have tried Pilk before. To do it on stream for shits and giggles. Is that true? Because I know she has some like one shots or something, and I haven't read those. Human to human, never again. Okay, I won't try it, guys. I'll stick to my water. Jamming out with them is easy. Being with them is easy. Every song that they play, every harmony that they create, lifts the weight that presses against her shoulders. She can get lost in the studio forever. And Zoe's unending laughter, she would never complain. Fifth song, her throat burns from the screaming and laughing. She also forgets about the things she saw on her phone, both of her brother and that was not even sure which one had affected her more. They take a break after their third run through of Zoe's demo song. It's coming together nicely, and Rumi and Mira tell her as much. Zoe beams at them like she's the sun among the sunflowers, and Mira can't look away. The way they're described is so cute. Zoe wiggles herself in between them. She has her phone pulled out, and Mira can't help from groaning even if she tried. Zoe, if you're going to read another fanfic, Mira warns, the back of her head hitting the couch. At least dim the brightness. I don't feel like reading about me blushing like a schoolgirl or I wasn't, Zoe denies. Zoe wiggles some more on the couch to pull up her feet, and Rumi takes her ankles onto her lap to let her get comfortable. Zoe lays her head on Mira's thighs, nuzzling her ear until it's comfortable where it is. Mira threads her fingers into her black, silky hair. It's basically a reflex at that point. What are you looking at then? Rumi asks curiously, leaning in to look at Zoe's screen. Pictures from New York last week, Zoe says proudly. She brings up her screen to Mira's face so that she could see too. I haven't posted anything on my socials about it yet. I feel like I should post something now before I forget. She's so real. I never post on Instagram. Mira laughs under her breath when she realizes that almost everything in Zoe's camera roll is full of Denny's pancakes glamour shots. There's a couple other photos too. And Rumi. A lot of them are blurry, but Mira can make out enough. At the very least, the way that Rumi is laughing, punching her in the shoulder, with her marks pulsing in that way when she gets too happy. Sorry. And the way Mira's looking at her. And how, in other photos, when they realize that Zoe is taking pictures of them, Mira is looking above the camera towards the photographer. They're so sweet. I'm gonna throw up. They're so in love. I'm gonna throw up. All she can and happy she looks, compared to every made her sit down for in her entire life. And how oddly Zoe reacted during their last 2 days of their vacation. Well, Zoe is always odd, but she was just odd during its tail end. Not avoidant odd, but jittery odd, which meant that Zoe might be hiding something, but should she even ask? Ooh, you should post this one, Rumi says, pointing at a particular thumbnail in Zoe's gallery. Mira squints at it. It's the one where the two of them are holding up Zoe horizontally on Ellis Island. They're all wearing those cheesy I Heart NY shirts, just in and Zoe is sporting some sunglasses. I hate seeing those shirts so much. They're sold everywhere. I'm like, I get it. We get it. Zoe giggles and hearts the picture to say, always have good taste, Bubby. Sorry, you always have good next to Rumi. Rumi glows under the praise. And more. I don't think you have any other choice than picking one from Denny's, Mira deadpans. She scratches the spot in Zoe's scalp where she knows she likes it most. Honestly, I think you should have just gone to New York to shoot for a Denny's commercial. Hey, it could have been worse, Zoe shrugs. Could have been a Waffle House. Reef mention. Reef, are you here? Waffle House mention. Reef mention. Get a room, so true. Oh, we got stereo. We got stereo. Thank you. Dance with me. I'll dance a little. Where's Reef? Reef is not reacting to what I just said. And I'm disappointed. Reef equals Waffle House. Exactly. Reef is making a Waffle House fic, a Waffle House AU fic. So we might check that out in the future. Reef had to go. That's so sad. That's very sad. Well, if she watches this later. Hey Reef. What does that even mean? Artie is a waitress. Yes, that's true. That is very true. Okay. A what? Rumi asks, desperately lost. You don't want to know, Zoe says seriously. Zoe makes them pick the best pancake glamour shot from her phone for her to post on her story. She posts the picture of them onto her timeline, then quickly switches over to her web browser to look up some more fanfics. Just once, please. I'll stop after we read one together. Please, please, please. In their tag. The one that she randomly finds isn't so terrible. Sure, it still mischaracterizes the hell out of her, because which of God's green earths would she call Rumi kitten and Zoe puppy without laughing? But at least it isn't terrible as that time Zoe made them read a fanfic with, what was it? Collars or something? They needed so much soju reading that. They read a smut fic together? Question. Which Huntrix member would work at Waffle House? Probably Zoe. Probably Zoe. Hi. It's just bestie things. It's just bestie things. I think I might know what fic that is. Talking about. Sorry, I got distracted. I'll keep going. You just so. Oh, you know what fic it is where they have collars? I feel like there's multiple fics where they have collars. I know the answer in Reef's fic. It's one of Jamie's other fics. Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense. Jamie referencing themselves in a fic of theirs? Crazy. Already get sorry. I have ADHD. I have ADHD. Stop judging. Okay. Never guys, whatever. They get back to tweaking Zoe's song not long after. They have about an hour left before they have to head down to the aquarium, and Bobby texts to remind them that someone will be bringing down their food in a couple minutes. Reading his message makes Mira's stomach grumble, and Zoe pats her belly with a laugh. After a couple of adjustments with the pre-chorus and some spitballing from the Brit for the Brit, as they often do when it comes to things like this. SpongeBob riff on bickering about which musical has the best memorable motifs. It's Phantom of the Opera, obviously. Which wait, okay. If we're talking about musicals, let me put my musical theater hat back on. Best motifs, best memorable motifs. I think Hadestown has good ones. I'm thinking memorable motifs. Musicals are great. I'm thinking like motifs. Sorry, I'm like thinking right now. I suddenly all the musicals I know. Motifs. Hadestown is the first one I thought, because like Hadestown's an obvious one. Oh my god, I suddenly forgot all the I mean falsettos is a good example. Dun, 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 dun. The falsetto land motif is really, really good. Sorry, this is no one cares about this. I'm just like I'm thinking to myself right now. Sound of Music? Yeah. Motifs though. Sound of Music. It's also been a while since I've like watched Sound of Music. Motifs wise, I don't think the Sound of Music has anything that crazy memorable. I mean, the Phantom of the Opera is a good example because like um I'm trying to see the flashback you're having. I don't. Wicked. Oh, Wicked is good. I mean, Wicked. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna say yes on that. I love that Wicked references over the rainbow. I whenever someone mentions that, I'm like, yes, I know about that. My nerd brain is working. Hades Town and Epic, I'd say. I have bees in the brain disorder. It's so real. Um, does anybody know the Legend of Korra? Oh yeah, I do. I know the Legend of Korra. Oh, motifs. This is not a musical. Avatar: The Last Airbender has great motifs. You know what else has great motifs? Death Note has great motifs. We have strayed so far from the pick right now. We were talking about musicals, but then we're like, wait, what has good motifs? Sorry, I just thought about Al's theme from Death Note, and whenever I start thinking about Al's theme from Death Note, I start tweaking a little. I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters has some pretty well, yes. The Hunter's mantra motif is peak. It's great. It's amazing. Um, well, yes. Side quest. Who mentioned Legend of Korra? And 7 people are gone because I went on a side quest. Not me wanting to write a Death Note AU with the Saja boys. That sounds fun. Y'all. Oh my god, we're not even halfway through. My brain. Sorry. But the 3 of them are laughing, and that's all that matters to her. The food arrives not long after, and they munch on it while Zoe and Rumi try to figure out a song to sing to pass the time. Mira taps out, just to preserve her voice. She takes to looking through the yellow notebook instead, and Rumi pats her back to commend her for her bravery. With a mouthful of tofu soup, Mira idly flips a couple pages. Tell whose handwriting belongs to who, just once. She knows Zoe's handwriting like an imprint against her ventricles. Imprint against her ventricles is a crazy phrase. Leave it to Polytrix authors to like come up with great phrases. So intimately familiar from all the years they've spent looking at her lyrics for hundreds of songs. Rumi's handwriting is more sorry, I just thought about imprint against her ventricles. That means it is like connected to like heartbeats. Oh Jamie, the writer you are. Oh. Rumi's handwriting is more delicate. Perfection that's been instilled in her since she was a child. But Mira knows her flaws, and she notes that most of her characters are slanted slightly to the left. A lot of the notes that they've jotted down in this notebook aren't to be taken very seriously. Most of them are joke lyrics. Politrix writers are poets. Like, oh my god. Um Most of them are joke lyrics, like with Zoe's entire stanza about Mira's constipation, refusal to take lactate. What if lactate made it worse? Is that such a controversial thought? And Rumi's smiley face next to her note about banjo to their verses. Banjo and Huntrix songs are so that's such a concept. Mira snorts at her own doodle of her burning 2 of the Saja boys on a spit roast. I would love to listen to that. She has, guys, look at this. Don't I draw so good on the tip of her tongue, but it dies like water on a roast when she looks up. Rumi and singing together with their unplugged mics, shoulder to shoulder, cheek to cheek. They're smiling so hard at each other that Mira could feel her own cheeks ache just from looking at it. They're happy in the same way she does whenever Zoe and Rumi hold, or when they scream and shake in a K drama. Mira looks back down at the notebook. She'll let them have their fun. The last thing she wants is to spoil it for them. She flips the page, even though she's already beginning to mourn the doodle, and is face to face with some more scribbled lyrics from Zoe, if her handwriting and the cute little doodles of the three of them next to it have anything to say about it. Mira prepares herself to read another stanza about Zoe's propaganda with her awful soda mixes, but all she gets. Zoe has always had a talent for writing. Even though she won't ever admit it, she does. Mira can see it every time she comes up with a retort during her rap battles in 2 seconds flat, or whenever she'd reply to a fan online with a funny response that goes accidentally viral, or when Zoe would drink a little too much at an awards show and she would hold their cheeks in each of her hands, swaying and tipsy, and tell them things like, "When my voice is gone forever, I hope you can still hear me say how much I adore you in every song I recorded for you." Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! I love her so much! Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. My heart. They broke Artie. Somebody called the polycule. Polycule send help. Polycule, Jamie broke me. Oh my god. My nose is still very runny, sorry. Oh my god. It sounds disgusting. I'm very sorry. Mira's lips tug downwards, not because she's upset by what she's reading, but more so because she's confused. This is a love song because Zoe realized it first. Because Zoe realized it. Just bestie things. Wait, sorry. I just this is so embarrassing. I have written a love song about a friend of mine before. In fact, I think I have it recorded here. I will not share because it was a bad song and I can't produce music for shit. It was a bad song, but I have written a love song about a friend of mine who is still a friend of mine. Already gay as fuck? What? You're just noticing? Are you really friends if you don't? Exactly. No, it's like I'm still friends with this person, but like I was in love with this person. Like I think I'm still kind of in love with them because like duh, as I say, you have to be in love with your friends. But like I was going through the feelings and I did write a love song. It was called Talker. I can read the lyrics. I can read the lyrics of it. I like have the lyrics somewhere here. Wait, I'm gonna look it up actually because t- it was called Talker, and I made a music video for it and everything. I didn't like put it out because I was like, I don't like this. But like a couple of my friends saw it. Already down bad. No, she wrote a love song. Oh, I have the recording of it. It was a bad song, guys. I can't produce music. I think the melody was like fine. Um, okay, I have the PDF. I have the shot list, guys. I have the shot list for the music video. I'll show it. Um, I have the shot list for the music video. Wide shots. Close up on I use my name Zara. Close up on Zara's face as she opens her eyes, lip sync the song. Zara gets up, a wine glass getting filled up. Zara picks it up and drinks. Like I have a full ass. I made a music video of this. Like And I have the lyrics over here. What I let me remind myself, this was like 3 years ago. All I hear is your voice echoing in all its poise. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, you're always there. Your voice fills the air, so close yet so far away. But I'm not much of a talker, can't you see? I'm not much of a talker. Let me be. You know I drown because of that. It's so bad. It's so bad. And you tell everything to them. Can you tell someone was jealous? Can you tell someone was jealous and down bad? Do you know how that makes me feel? You never will. Called you over just to ask you some. That's such a bad line. Hesitating, looking at me like I was dumb. What's the matter, hun? Did I do something wrong? As if there could be no other reason that I might want you by my side. Oh, I remember this. Oh, 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 guys, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. That I might, okay. It's like looking at me like I was like, what's the matter, hun? Did I do something wrong? This is them talking. As if there could be no other reason that I might want you by my side. Looking at your face and smiling wide. No, honey, just want to ask you how you've been recently. Feels like I haven't seen you at all today, but you know, that wouldn't be what I'd say. No, you're perfect. Guess I'm not worth it. Jesus Christ, someone was yearning. Artie live mic night? No, guys, no. I'm not much of a talker, yada, yada, yada. I love the bridges. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Oh, okay. Let's read the outro. I'm not much of a talker. Guess you figured out. For your voice, I still hunger. No time to pout. You had said you wanted time with me. I reached for you, wanted you to see, and wondered if you'd be there for me. You never crossed the wall, and I let you be. Keep your world away for others to see, and I was gone. Someone was depressed as hell. Someone was depressed as hell. This is crazy. This was for like a school project that we did. We had to do some kind of filming project. And I was like, I want to do a music video because I want to be like, artistic and shit. And it was like artistic and shit. I had like zooms into like I had like a tear falling down my cheek, and like I had zooms into like the mouths as I like into my mouth and then into my partner's mouth as we were lip syncing the words, and it was like artistic as fuck. I'll never release it. Artie steals the whole moon. Oh, and then we had an outro scene where I'm like, "Hi, I thought I heard something. Is everything all right? Yeah, yeah, everything's fine. How are you doing? I'm all right. Okay, love you too." I was depressed as fuck, and this person still doesn't know because we're friends. Writers note noted down art. Writers noted down Artie lore. Artie lore, crazy Artie lore. Because there was a time where I thought of releasing it. Do I play the song a little? Good art comes from angst. uh Artie lore dropped as fuck. I have talker. Oh, it's just bad production. It's just bad production. That's the thing. And it's like I people who can produce music in the Discord. So if anyone wants to because it was bad. It's like I'm playing around on Logic Pro. Shit was bad. I would still like love to release it as a song, as bad as it is, if it had better instrumentals. Artie is gonna be a musical theater queen in my fic. It's been decided now. Oh my god. I would love to be a musical theater queen. You should get with Luna and Rose for good production. Yes. Yes, I do. Oh my god, I do need to get with them. Because I still have the video. I still have the edited video. I have the love letter I wrote my first girl crush. Nobody needs to see that. I would love to see that if you ever decide to lore drop during in Discord or something. Already in a music era. I tried. Let's just say I tried. I would need help. I like singing. Am I the best right? No, I can't write. Maybe I can write lyrics. I will say this. I think I would like writing lyrics. Artie lore drop. Somebody tell the Discord. You're glowing, by the way. Thank you. I'm glowing because I'm sweating. I wrote a parody song about Australia for a school project. Didn't we all? I'm just kidding. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, let's keep going because I got distracted again. I can sing, just can never write a single note. Artie, your Zoe is showing. My Zoe has been showing. Like I said, I'm a Zoe rising. Did I say that? Yeah, I'm a Zoe rising. I'm a Zoe rising. Yeah. I love your outfit. Thank you. This is my this is like the thinnest thing I could find because it's so hot. Okay, y'all, let's keep going. Or we'll be here forever, like genuinely. It is because not only is she a veteran in an industry oversaturated with love song after love song, but because she has eyes and she knows adoration and crushing when she sees it. Or so she hopes. And what Zoe has written is exactly that. Every verse, every chorus, even down to the bridge. It's Zoe writing metaphors and idioms, comparisons about how lovely this muse is to her. There are a few lines here and there too that allude to flowers and spitting rain and body bags in that euphemistic way. And Mira doesn't even bother reading it more than once, just for the sake of her own sanity. Hell, Mira can even hear Zoe sing each line in her wonderful voice. It's gentle in her ears, gentle and affectionate and oh so adoring. Sir in her chest. She has to stuff tofu into her mouth to keep the fire from spreading. The next page is another written song. It's doting as the last one. It's also in handwriting, but her doodles are missing from this page. It's like Zoe had been too embarrassed to draw all over it. Or, Mira thinks to herself, Zoe wanted to keep the page sacred, which just leaves her with one burning question. Who the hell is Zoe writing about? Hmm. I'm so curious. I'm so curious. The third page isn't a song, but rather a couple lines that read like an incomplete verse. It's something about purple orchids and patterns, and Mira glances up at the two of them. Zoe has her hand on Rumi's thigh. Rumi is pressing her knee against hers while they giggle and look down at her phone. Her heartbeat stuck in her throat. Mira flips to the next page. More incomplete verses. Amethysts and moonlight in darkness, and also glasses, and peonies in pink and strawberries on a picnic with cigarettes. What? Mira rereads the lines so many times, but her eyeballs ache. She can hear Rumi teaching Zoe how to play a certain song on the guitar. Neither of them are really paying attention to her, but it still feels like she has a magnifying glass pressed down between her eyelids in the sun. Palms sweating, Mira flips to the next page as quietly and delicately as she could. It's Rumi's writing this time. Though Zoe is their official lyricist, that doesn't necessarily stop Rumi and Mira from contributing their own. She enjoys getting to spitball with them about a cohesive melody. Rumi's probably just as poetically talented as Zoe is. She won't admit it either, but she is. Rumi has a side to her that's charismatic and effortless, and it often translates to the things that she has to say. The woman that can fluster an entire room full of people at variety shows will always have enchanting lyrics in turn. And just like Zoe, Rumi seems partial to writing love songs. Do they even know it? Mira can't help but wonder if this is something that they're doing on purpose, or if they just think that these lines sound good, and only because they sound good. But then again, inspiration can't strike from nowhere. These words that they are writing need to have come from somewhere, And if that somewhere is someplace faint and far away, even if that somewhere is someplace faint and far away. Mira rubs her hand against her sweats to keep them from sweating all over the paper. Her fingers are trembling slightly, but she tries to hide them by opening and closing her fists. She swallows, but it does nothing to stop the lump from forming in her throat. Rumi's lyrics allude to turtles a lot, and cow nose rays and pygmy seahorses and wild, uncharted waters. Freckles, too. And pink skies and champagne, sunlight in the face of a storm, long hair and pretty sarcastic smiles. Mira's breath comes out shaky when she exhales. Neither Rumi nor Zoe seem to pay her any mind. They're too busy laughing at the pictures that they're taking on Zoe's phone. Good. She has a few more pages she wants to flip through because she has a feeling. Yeah, the pages are scrawled with her handwriting now. These things down. It was a late night, and Rumi and Zoe were tiredly going over the melody for one of their songs from the last album. She had nothing better to do, and Zoe had left the notebook right by her thigh, so she scribbled in whatever lyrics came to her tired 3 in the morning mind. Mira curses out her past self. She should have flipped before it. She should have been nosy. She should have looked. But what would that have done? What would that change? She runs the pad of her thumb over her own words, the adoring, lovely words that she knows she would never say to Zoe and Rumi. Words that she could write off as commercially marketable for a pop song if either Zoe or Rumi asked her. An excuse that had been locked and ready on her tongue, like she knew the question would appear and that she desperately needed to clear her name from. Mira likes to think that she knows herself better than she ever had before. Every day she spends with her troubled mind is another day of getting to know the depths of it, and every new day is an opportunity to be enlightened, surprised. Is this a surprise to her? She opens and closes her mouth like the fish that Zoe would often show to them late into the night. She could already feel herself gaining the momentum to ask, to say wrap their names around her tongue and ask them, just ask. Zoe squeaks so loud that Mira slams the notebook shut involuntarily. If she was driving, she would have pressed hard on the brakes by now. What? What? Sorry, that was Mira. What? Mira asks, panicked. The aquarium! Zoe exclaims, standing up and looking around for her jacket. We were supposed to leave 5 minutes ago. Mira checks her phone. She tries not to wince when she realizes that should have indeed left 5 minutes ago. That's fine, Mira says calmly, pocketing her phone. She slides the notebook on the other end of her couch, not paying it any more heed in case it would burn her with a look. I know a shortcut. We'll be there on time. Are you sure? Zoe asks. She squeezes each hand nervously, but she's giving Mira those puppy eyes. Mira tries not to huff. Why does she even need to pull that out? She already said that they were going. Mira finally understands when Rumi comes up to Zoe's side to rub her shoulder and mumble soft, encouraging words in her ear. The uneasy look in Zoe's face melts away to giddiness, and she leans into Rumi with a half smile. Mira puts on her jacket while the pair clean up their table. Zoe unplugs some of their instruments, and Mira wraps the long cords around her arm to prevent any tripping hazards for their next visit. Rumi sends a quick text to Bobby to tell him that they'll be on the way soon. Meanwhile, Mira fishes for her car keys in her pockets. It jingles when she finds them, and she spins them on her forefinger before tossing it right at Rumi. Rumi catches it on reflex. Her face contorts into horror when she looks down at her palm and realizes. What? Rumi asks in a high-pitched squeak. Her eyes go impossibly wide, and Mira and Zoe try not to snicker. Mira, come on. No, 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 nope, no. I'll be in the passenger seat, Mira lazily says. She has her hands in her pockets, and her foot stops the door from closing on them. And it's a 20-minute drive. 15 if you're lucky. No! Rumi insists, red in the face. She's so red that her patterns stick out like a sore thumb, and Mira has to press her lips tight together to keep from laughing. Her shoulders shake though. She can hear Zoe actively giggling close by. Babe, come on, it's literally fine. Mira starts. Why can't you make Zoe do it? Mira asks in a desperate attempt. She still has Mira's car keys sitting in the middle of her palm, frozen in place. 'Cause I already have my driver's license? Zoe snickers. It's true. She was the first one out of the three of them to get hers. It's an American license from when she was 16, and she's regulated to being passenger princess whenever Mira is around, but still. Zoe pinches Rumi's waist to get her to move, but Rumi stands there like a statue. I have mine too, Rumi argues. Mira arches a perfect eyebrow. You mean your learners? The one that you renewed for a fifth year in a row? Zoe adds. Rumi's patterns flicker with her embarrassment. You and Mira can drive. Why do I have to? She is so real. I got my driver's license 5 years ago. And I haven't driven really since I came here because I don't have to drive in New York. It's like I have to learn. I do, but it's like it's too much work and I don't like driving. I don't actively enjoy it. So I'm like, why do I have to? New York is easy in that way because it's just like subway everywhere. Subway and bus. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Mira tuts. See, now I know you're getting desperate if that's the argument you have to pull out, she says. Rumi opens her mouth to argue again, but she quickly adds, I'll drive us back home. I'll even buy us burgers on the way. But why do I have to drive there? Rumi whines. She's basically one more second away from stomping her foot. The thought makes Mira's shoulders tremble with her suppressed laughter. Because you're never going to get your license if I don't make you drive at least like once a year. So, Mira says with a half shrug. Ooh. She opens the door wider for them to pass by her. We gotta get going. Come on. Obediently, oh my god. Zoe and Rumi shuffle out of the room. Mira closes the lights, and they're officially on their way to meet the Huntrix turtles. But Rumi still takes the opportunity to complain about it. Even as they enter the car and she situates herself in the driver's seat, Rumi blurts out, I don't get why I need a license if the two of you can drive us anyway. If you're worried about me getting sick of driving you around, you know I won't, Mira says lightly. She points to the shifter and murmurs the instructions, then continues. I just think that it's better if you at least know the basics, in case me or Zoe get stranded or die or something. She says it like a lighthearted joke, but if she's being honest, it's a fear of hers sometimes that Zoe or Rumi could be stuck somewhere where she can't help them. Mira. Oh my god. She knows that they could help themselves, that they could hold things without her. It just makes her feel better if she knows that they could do it better in any way that she can aid in. And so, here they are driving. Rumi rolls her eyes. Her hands are white knuckled on the steering wheel, and Mira tries her best not to laugh too much about it. But Zoe isn't exactly merciful with her giggles in the back seat. Zoe puts try and soothe Rumi's nerves. It gets her to relax enough to back out of the parking lot without hitting anyone. But as soon as they hit the road, Rumi is back to gripping the steering wheel like it might disappear on her if she let go or blinked. Rumi, Mira whispers, a chuckle bubbling from her throat. She puts her hand on Rumi's knee and squeezes gently. Relax. Seriously. I asked you to drive because I knew there wasn't any traffic. You'll be fine. You don't know that? Rumi says quickly, still high-pitched. She's actively sweating. Zoe laughs, but it's not unkind. She leans over the console to squeeze Rumi's shoulder. Then she shakes her just enough to jolt her around. As promised, the highway around them is practically empty. I have the greatest idea to get your mind off things, Zoe declares proudly, a hint of mischief in her tone. Mira glances at her from the corner of her eye. She still has her hand on Rumi's knee. Pulling away feels not right. And Rumi hasn't said anything or jostled her knee, so she's writing on the assumption that this is good, hopefully. Please don't say what I think you want to say, Mira mutters. Zoe grins at her like she's right on the money. Fanfics hot and fresh from hashtag Polytricks! Rumi groans, whether it's because she'll be needing to change lanes soon or because of Zoe is unclear. Oh my god, what if I just crash the car right now? She complains. Zoe pats her shoulder sympathetically, her phone screen already an inch away from her face while she scrolls. Mira leans closer to look at Zoe's phone. She can hardly read a single line before Zoe is scrolling away. She does, however, catch the little icon in the corner of the app, and it's definitely not something she's seen before. Do you Mira blinks and leans away to look up at Zoe. Do you have an alt account to like Polytrix posts? Not just Polytrix, Zoe says dismissively, but it's basically a confirmation. I mean, it was either that or use my main and like the post with it. Do you want me to use my main instead? Or no, Rumi and Mira say quickly. Zoe cackles and she continues her hunt for more fanfictions. She almost wants to ask to look through the timeline on Zoe's alternative account, but she has a feeling it'll be like opening a can of dead worms. Still, the curiosity burns in Mira's mind. She tries to ask the lesser question. What else do you use it for then? She asks incredulously. Zoe pauses, not looking up from her phone. She just asks, you know that there is X reader fanfictions for us? Rumi pipes up with your slash name. Or imagine Huntrix is a mafia group and you're sold to them by your or sorry, or imagine Huntrix is a mafia group and you're sold to them by your mom, Mira adds. She remembers Zoe showing her something like that way back when. Yeah, that, Zoe confirms with a nod. A pause, and then she clarifies. Well, not exactly that, but the idea is there. Then what about it? Mira asks suspiciously. Zoe shrugs, but there's that suspiciously traced, shy smile on her lips. Nothing. Before Mira could press any further with whatever that means, Zoe shoves her screen in her face to show her the perfect fanfiction to pass the time for the next 15 minutes. It's there was only one bed fanfiction. We had that in this very fic. It's a there was only one bed fanfiction that reads like a dramatic Edgar Allan Poe retelling. It's incredibly dramatic, but Zoe reads out the entire thing despite their occasional interruption to say that they would never do that. I don't know about you guys, but I think this could be sort of realistic, Zoe hums after they finish the last line. They kiss at the end, which Mira sees for 90% of the works that Zoe finds. Realistic? Mira asks, perturbed. We literally sleep in one bed almost every night, and you don't see Rumi brush our hair out of our faces to admire us during the golden crack of dawn or whatever. Rumi nearly swerves to the other lane. Mira has to put her hand on the steering wheel to keep it steady. Rumi doesn't even look at her after that, but she clears her throat, and Mira can see her patterns better under her reddening skin. Huh. I need them to get a hint. I need them to get a hint. I'm like, it's been so long. Guys, this is chapter 5. It's been what? How many words has it been? Has it been like 80,000 words? There was only one bed. Girl, there is one bed. That's what I'm saying. Can you please read My Voice Without the Lies by Steph last name on live? I have a live plan, and I don't think I could read anything else on live right now, but I'll take note of it. I have gotten that recommended before. Totally platonic normal bestie things to do with your totally platonic besties. Exactly. Okay. um I said sorta, Zoe defends. Rumi makes a strangled noise in the back of her throat. And uh and what's with that double O moment near the end? When Rumi, fake Rumi, book Rumi, whatever, was in bed, Rumi asks. She's still hyper focused on the road, more so than she had 5 minutes ago somehow. I think I've seen that at least 10 other times whenever you'd make us read something. Is it an inside joke? Mira breathes out a laugh, like something like that would ever happen. What is a double O moment? Is it a double okay, whatever. I'm not gonna keep speaking. I'm not gonna keep speaking. Zoe quickly says, higher pitched and louder than usual. Hey, did you guys know that there's an old Sunlight Sisters theory that Celine was in love with Rumi's mom? Yes! Let's go! It's obviously a ploy to get the topic onto something else, but it works flawlessly. What? Rumi exclaims, gaping over at Zoe. They almost swerve again, but Mira calmly slides over the wheel. Why would they even Yeah, Zoe says, bobbing her head up and down. She puts her phone away in her pocket to look at them. It was a super old theory back when I was still in the Sunlight Sisters fandom, but I think it started gaining more traction recently after someone brought it up again after all the Huntrix shipping stuff. Okay, pause, Mira announces. She turns around on her shoulder to look at Zoe incredulously. Zoe, what? Theory? That's canon. Exactly. What? Zoe asks innocently. You already knew I like the Sunlight Sisters. No, I'm not. I'm not put off by that. I meant. Mira tries to find the words for it. Her hand waves around in the air, and Zoe giggles. Why would people even think that? Why did you think that? Of course not. Hello? Have you met Celine? Zoe says, as if affronted that Mira would even suggest it. I'm just saying that it was a popular theory back then. Not that I ever got why. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Isn't it don't shoot the messenger? Rumi asks. Same diff, Zoe says dismissively. Rumi puts on the turn signal to turn right. Mira gently puts on the steering wheel to guide her around the curb without hitting it. Rumi eyes her forearm, but when she sees Mira looking at it, she darts her eye away. Mira shakes her head to herself. All this shipping stuff with our fans is a little dumb, she mumbles under her breath. I mean, who even believes in all that stuff? Why would you? She doesn't understand why Rumi and Zoe go a little quiet at that. Zoe, in particular, doesn't seem to bring up any more fanfictions or posts that she finds on her phone. But thankfully, the aquarium is only a couple minutes away, and the moment that they see the top of the building poking out from the roads, it's like the light switch flicks back on in the car. They park the car in their VIP parking lot, one that thankfully has a lot of room, and Rumi audibly loosens a relieved breath when she realizes. She doesn't even stop Zoe and Mira from laughing at her about it. When they close the car doors, Rumi shoves Mira's car keys into her hand so fast that Mira has to bite back a laugh. She stuffs the keys back into her pocket, then sidles up next to Rumi to rub between her pouty shoulder blades. Not so bad, right? Mira asks. She means it genuinely, but she can't stop the teasing quality from seeping into her voice even if she tried. If you make me do that ever again, Rumi starts, smiling up at Mira in that wonderful way of hers. I'm driving my sword down your throat and making you beg for me to stop. Got it? That's a totally fine thing to say. That's a totally fine thing to say in this fandom, Rumi. It's a totally fine thing to say that you will shove your sword down Mira's throat. Gonna show what now? Don't threaten us with a good time. Okay, Mira shivers. Why does she kind of like how they're all freaks? They're all freaks. They're all freaks. They're all freaks. They're all freaks. They're literally all freaks. We knew this. Don't go there, she warns and mentally slaps herself. Got it, she says evenly instead. And Rumi nods her head and smirks like she had won the argument from there. Rumi walks ahead to meet up with the owner of the aquarium. Mira can hear some tidbits of their conversation from where she's standing. Zoe takes the opportunity to tug on her waist to get her to look. What do you think? Zoe asks proudly, pointing at the custom made frog bucket hat. You look cute and pretty, Mira says immediately. It's the truth. She cocks her head to the side to get a better look at Zoe. Then she asks, were you hiding that hat in the car the entire time? Zoe nods proudly, her lips curled in that impish smile. It's pretty on her. They thank them for coming and for sponsoring the aquarium for as long as they had. Zoe, of course, is more than happy to tell them that it was an honor on their part. Mira and Rumi are inclined to agree. The owner ushers them inside. He tells them that he'd been more than happy to guide them on a private tour of the facilities behind the scenes. Photographers will be on site to take pictures of them with Turtle Mira, Turtle Rumi, and Turtle Zoe in half an hour or so. Then you're free to check out the public areas of the aquarium if you so wish, he tells them proudly. He sweeps his arm across the kitchen area and introduces it to them. Despite it only being the kitchen, Zoe looks locked in and happy to soak in every single detail. She hangs onto every word from the owner, everything from the way that they chop squid and mix vitamins and food slurries for their animals, and how often they feed the sharks to keep them from turning to the other fish in the tanks. Surprisingly, even Rumi seems deeply interested in it. She's almost surprised that they aren't taking notes on a notebook. The thought makes her smile to herself. The owner takes them through a few more places that Mira has never seen before. Filtration rooms, chemistry labs, the training areas, the back entrances to certain tanks, and even an up close and personal meeting with the rays. They even meet the penguins, and they're even given the pleasure to feed them for dinner. Most of the penguins swarm to Rumi. It's cute watching Rumi try to feed her new loyal legion, and even cuter watching her laugh at the attention. It reminds her of all the times that dogs at parks would run up to Rumi and lick her patterns. Someone comes up to them to say that the photographers are almost ready and that the aquarists are getting the turtles. Uh, while we wait, how about I share some fun facts about green sea turtles? The owner offers. Zoe nods her head so fast that her hat nearly falls off. The owner laughs. He clears his throat and thinks of something to say. Then he recites, green sea turtles are mostly herbivorous, but that changes as they age. The ones you'll be meeting are juveniles, so they'll be omnivores who can feed on the fish you give them. Zoe nods her head sagely. A lot different from hawksbill sea turtles, huh? The owner looks surprised at that. Yes. He thinks to herself for something to say, then settles on, they can also live up to 80 years in the wild. 90, Zoe corrects. Chagrined, he continues. They're also very important to the seagrass ecosystem in our oceans. They keep the habitat healthy for other species of fish and crustaceans like, ooh, Zoe turns on her heel to look at Rumi and Mira. Did you know that they have a symbiotic thing going on with the yellow tangfish? So the tangs basically eat the barnacles and stuff off of the green sea turtle because they think, oh man, free food. Can I have some of that? And the turtle would be like, yo, thanks for offering, dude. And something tells me that you would have worked here in another life, the owner says with no malice. He smiles at her proudly. Zoe giggles, shrugging her shoulders like it wasn't a big deal. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was in kindergarten, she explains. Mira can spot the sparkle in her eyes. Guess I never really grew out of it. Fun fact, I'm going to start working at a zoo soon, training for it in 2 days, and then like going for in-person training in the weekend. I'm going to stop a little because there is no line breaks in this fic. The power of the tism. The power of the tism. So true. Hi, Red. Oh my god, thank you, Red. A little money gone. Artie lore is crazy tonight. Yeah. I'm an open book, guys. I really am. And I originally like auditioned to become like a part of their like performing troupe. Basically, they have a performing. I guess the troupe is like the wrong word for it, but they have performances at the zoo for like children and stuff. They put on shows, and I originally auditioned for that. And during my audition, I had to prepare like 2 minutes conversation basically about an animal, about my favorite animal. And I picked sloths because I love sloths. Sloths are so cool. And they're so fascinating and they're so cute and they're so lazy and they're like me. Performance crew. Yeah, basically. Zoo. Yeah. I'm excited though. I didn't get the performance job. I got a more like customer service oriented job, but I'm still very excited because there is a chance that I might start working with the performance crew once they like get to know me. Like there's some internal transfers, like job transfers. So, and I think they liked me. So like it's just that like they have a certain amount of actors they can have. It's always that's always the case. I really like koalas. True, true, true. Would I get denied if I talked about the everyday human? Oh my god, this was the job that I applied for with that dance video that I posted actually. And they actually talked to me about the dance video, and the person I was speaking to was like, "Oh, I saw that dance video and it was amazing. I had a lot of fun." And I was like, "Thank you." Me pulling out my K-pop moves. But yeah, I'm excited for the job. It's going to be cute. Mira touches her gently on the forearm. Zoe startles. You would have been really great, Mira tells her warmly. Rumi nods at that. I still think you would, she says, just as softly. Zoe opens and closes her mouth like a fish. It almost makes Mira laugh. And maybe it's the lighting in the room, but she swears that Zoe is turning a little bit pink. Maybe it's the shrimp cocktails that they ate on the way there. Or is that or is that just something that happens with flamingos? Maybe she should ask Zoe soon. Unfortunately for her, another person pokes their head into the room to tell them that the photographers are ready and that they can make their way down to meet the juvenile turtles. Or, as Zoe puts it, the Teenage Mutant Hunter Turtles. Cute. They're adorable. Mira doesn't take adorable things lightly, so it needs to be believed when she says that the turtles are adorable. Hi, Reef. Welcome back. You missed my lore drop. They're larger than most pet turtles that Mira has met before, but they're still small enough that she could carry one in two hands. Rumi and Zoe, on the other hand, struggle to carry their turtles in their hands, and Mira smirks at them from the side while the aquarists try to help. Yours probably isn't as slippery as ours, Rumi argues. Yeah, Zoe agrees. She huffs when her turtle can't be captured in her hands again. I don't know about that, Mira says slowly, her lips curled upwards. She tilts her head at them. Weren't our fans freaking out last week because of how big my hands looked on both of your waists at the fashion show? What? 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 Okay. Angles, Rumi argues. Just just at the same time, Zoe also argues, perspective! It makes Mira snort. Right. It is! Just look! Zoe insists. She gently asks the aquarist to take Turtle Zoe from her hands before turning around to face Mira. She snatches up Mira's wrist to press her palm against hers with an unexplainable stubbornness. Zoe's hands are a lot smaller. In fact, the tip of her fingers only make it to Mira's second to last knuckle. That's so cute. Like this small, that's so cute. Mira lets her fingers fall, slowly but certainly, to lace them gently with Zoe's. She doesn't know what possesses her to do it. Maybe impulsivity, maybe to fluster her some more, or maybe to show her that their hands look equal when she holds her properly instead of trying to prove some precarious point with palm size. Mira lover girl. Oh my god. She's too much. She's too much. I need a drink. Put them back on their waist. They belong there. They belong there. What is you doing? Zoe jumps away from her hand like Mira was burning her. Did you know that green sea turtles can weigh over 400 pounds as an adult? Zoe blurts out, darting her eyes everywhere besides Mira. Mira watches her in confusion. Also, the eggs towards the center of a green sea turtle's nest tend to hatch as females because it's warmer. Cooler eggs hatch as a male. Cooler eggs hatch as male. Wow, Rumi says sincerely, completely oblivious to what just happened in front of her. She's just there to learn about turtles, it seems. So is every warm egg a female then? Zoe responds happily to her, even if her words come out more rushed and pitched higher than it usually is. Mira watches them for a moment, confused but happy to see the two of them so involved with what's around them. The aquarist gives them more fun facts about the turtles playing in front of them. The juvenile trio were found together on a nearby beach, refusing to stray from each other despite the danger of human contact and ocean waves and their solitary nature. Mira's turtle, Turtle Mira, or To Mira, as Zoe affectionately calls her, would bite the wildlife rehabilitators whenever they got too close to Turtle Rumi and Turtle Zoe. Even as turtles, they're in love. Even as turtles, they're in love. This is crazy. Turtle AUN. Turtle AUN. It's accurate, if she would say so herself, and she's quite proud of Turtle Mira for it. The photographers have them pressed close together for the photo. They're going for a more candid style, so the photographers let them feed the juveniles with some chopped squid and seaweed sheets. Zoe uses it as an opportunity to give the room an impromptu lecture on turtle behavior. Rumi and Mira are enraptured with her talk. From start to beginning, from start to beginning, that's a okay. They let Zoe talk about turtles with only the occasion interrupted with only the occasional interruption to ask her to clarify something. She can hear the shutters of the cameras rolling every time Zoe talks. She wonders how it would look in the end when it gets published later tomorrow. Will people online talk about how Rumi and Mira look so deeply in love with Zoe for talking about turtles? Or just Rumi? God, why does it even matter? Why would she care? She almost hits herself on the table, hits herself on the table in frustration. They take a couple solo pictures with the turtles next. It doesn't last very long, at least for Mira and her obedient turtle. This is Turtle is the new puppy interview. Turtle interview is a new puppy interview. They should do turtle interviews next. Speaking of puppy interview, we need to get a Huntrix puppy interview. Oh my god. We need to get a Huntrix puppy interview like now, like yesterday. With all of them. With all 6 of them. Netflix, where are you? We need to get a puppy interview. I have said this. And you were right to say that. We need a puppy interview. um There's a part of her that wishes that she could take it home but she already knows that it would launch Zoe into an 8-hour lecture about wild sea animals and the importance of rehabilitating them right. Unfortunately, they have to say goodbye to the turtles before long. The aquarists promise them that they'll have access to seeing the turtles whenever they would like to, a fact that delights all three of them to no end. And they're sent off to wash their hands and have free reign of the rest of the aquarium. Rumi tugs on her wrist. Mira, wait! Mira slows down. Zoe does too, but she's immediately distracted by one of the plaques on the wall. Cocking her head to the side, Mira asks, "What's up?" Rumi points at her eyes. She's smiling and Mira doesn't understand until she realizes that Rumi has a black hat on and Zoe has her thick jacket and frog bucket hat. She says stupidly. She shifts her weight from wait. Rumi tugs on her waist. What's up? What's it? She's running. I'm trying to understand what Mira's confused about. Okay. She shifts her weight from foot to foot, slightly embarrassed. I kind of forgot to bring my glasses. I have a jacket in my car that I could grab. Hey, don't even worry about it. I had a feeling you'd forget, Rumi says dismissively. She slips her hand into her pocket and digs around before she proudly produces one of Mira's spare glasses. Mira swears that she probably has 50 pairs lying around their house on the tip of her tongue. She even reaches Rumi puts one Rumi what is a temple tip? Temple tips into her mouth and bites down on it, all to hinge it open with her teeth. Oh, just like open it. She's opening the glasses. Sorry, I'm trying to. She's opening it with her teeth. She unfolds the other part with a quick swipe of her thumb. She tucks Mira's hair out of her face and slips it on with a curved smile. Mira's mouth has gone dry. She slips it onto her face without another word, trying so very hard not to think about Rumi's mini fangs against her glasses. It's almost embarrassing how something as normal as that could affect her as a teenage boy behind like a teenage boy behind the bleachers. Um my specific thing, my specific remembering Mira's glasses gay. That's gay. My thing is when someone rips something with their teeth, I am like like I'm pretty sure I told this to Reef, but like one of my first like girl crushes, like cartoon girl crushes was Wendy from Gravity Falls, and there's that scene where she rips a piece of her like jacket, like a piece of her like yeah, jacket like to tie it around her wound and I'm like wait, why is that so hot? Why is that? Why did like how old was I? Like why did like 13-year-old me go crazy? Flannel, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Guys, English is not my native language. You can't judge me. You can't judge me. I forget words. Um but yeah, I was like, girl, what the hell? Anyways, let's keep going. Uh Thanks, Mira says again, still as stupidly. Rumi nods. No problem, she says, then jerks her head over to where Zoe is. Ready? She swears that she can hear some sort of teasing quality to Rumi's voice. But that's impossible, because Rumi can't tease her. She shouldn't be able to. Mira is like, no, you're autistic. um, Zoe, Mira calls, and Zoe bounces over to them with that happy little smile of hers. It's adorable enough that she could feel her heart palpitate in her chest, but she tries to play it casual by leading her girls to the aquarium doors with nothing more than a tight-lipped smile. It's not so busy today, thankfully. They still have to be conscious about how close they get to people milling around to prevent being recognized, but there aren't so many that they have to worry too much about it. Most people at the aquarium tonight seem to be either families with their young ones or couples on a date. Mira tries not to stare at the two girls who hold tighter onto each other when they see two pairs of fish swim by. She tries not to think about how much they remind her of her own girls. Rumi asks them to check out the tropical zone first. Zoe is more than happy to oblige, and Mira trails right behind on their heels. Oh my god. It's dark where they are and a little cold, and it's almost impossible to navigate without having to squint. The colorful reef fish, reef mention, the colorful reef fish that they find is a breath of fresh air from being swallowed in the dark in the hallway. Zoe is quick to point out all of the fish by name: clownfish, all of the coral species, anemones. Is it anemones or anemones? I never know. Is it anemones or anemones? Whatever it is. Parrotfish and Mira's personal favorite, black angelfish. The next exhibit is similar to the tropical area that they've seen at the start. Maybe they needed more space for all the fish that they had. Zoe doesn't seem to be complaining about it. Look, triggerfish! Zoe exclaims, pointing to a fish that swims by with goofy buck teeth. She spins on her heel to face Mira to say, I think you'd like them, Bubby. And why's that? Mira asks, partially amused. Maybe because the teeth look like yours? Rumi jokes, and Mira pretends to snap her teeth at her ear. Rumi swats her away with a mirthful huff. Zoe rolls her eyes, but she's smiling. Well, sorta. They can use their teeth to cut through shells, actually. She scratches a spot on her jaw, then points at another colorful yellow triggerfish near them. They're hella territorial, as in crazy territorial. They bite divers all the time. Rumi laughs. Sounds like Mira, all right. She says gleefully. I'm not territorial, Mira declares. Me looking at Mira like, are we sure about that? Turning up her chin. I don't even know how you could say that. I'm the chillest person between all three of us. You? Rumi snorts. Oh my god. We get an aquarium. Thank you, Red. I'm possessive. Exactly. We got a little aquarium. That was so cute. Okay. You, Rumi snorts. The person who poured soda over some dude's head at the club when he almost grabbed Zoe's ass? Or when you lit a poster on fire at a fan sign because some guy put his phone number in it and slid it to Rumi? Zoe asks with a grin. That's not territorial, Rumi finishes. Mira crosses her arms. She hates that word. Protective could have sufficed. She flounders for something to say until she settles on, as if you two don't snap your teeth whenever you see people staring too hard at me. As if she'd ever forget the way Rumi's eyes burnt holes into the crowd when she wore a red backless dress to an awards show last year, or Zoe's for that matter. But Zoe had been preoccupied with staring at her for most of the night. Rumi's eyes go wide. She jolts and her mouth moves wordlessly, like she's trying her best to defend herself against it, but can't. Hey, that's an ad hominem, Zoe defends. Mira doesn't think it is, but instead she huffs, rolls her eyes affectionately, and pushes them onwards through the hall before more people can pour in. Luckily for her, neither Rumi nor Zoe argue against it. Yeah, Mira says, distracted. Let's get a move on before someone sees us. Maybe we can find a fish that clears my name. She shakes her head, muttering, territorial, come on, really? To herself. Lucky for you, I'm into the territorial type. Zoe mumbles under her breath, like a knee-jerk response. Mira startles. What? What? Zoe says quickly. Oh, look, clownfish. I love. Oh my god, I Zooms away. Rumi presses close to Mira's shoulder. They both stare at Zoe's retreating back. That was weird, Rumi says, and Mira is just about to agree when she adds, I know I know Zoe's into a lot of weird things, like that one guy from the second Lion King, but I didn't think that meant triggerfish too. Mira clamps her mouth shut. If that's the conclusion that Rumi falls into, then maybe it's the right one, and she was just being paranoid. She nods absent-mindedly. They find interactive screens around the place, and thankfully, with only a handful of people around. Most of them are catered to the younger children, and Mira wouldn't dare touch the sticky looking screens, and there are plaques close to the tanks at adult height that provide more information. She reads the one closest to her. Many species of reef fish are sensitive to changing temperatures. Mira reads out loud, humming. She looks at Rumi with that knowing smile, and Rumi is already pouting as she says, reminds me of someone I know. It's not my fault that you'd rather freeze to death at night, Rumi retorts. She huffs, and Mira has to swallow back her snort. She looks back and forth between Rumi and the striped fish that floats by next to her, and she tries her hardest not to make not to make the connection to prevent more of Rumi's sulkiness, but the look on her face is all too telling, and Rumi looks straight up insulted. I didn't say anything, Mira says quickly. You don't have to, Rumi grumbles. Zoe giggles under her breath. She tries to satiate Rumi by squeezing her bicep and running her hand up and down her forearm. It works. When has it not? You want to see an actual fish that reminds me of you? Zoe asks slyly. She thinks about it, then quickly adds, well, they're not a fish. They're just called fish. They're actually marine mollusks or cephalopods, really. But just please don't tell me they look ugly, Rumi complains. Mira has to bite back a laugh. I can tell Mira's been trying to hold back from pointing a random fish to tell me that it looks like me. Hey, it comes with the Hey, it comes with going to an aquarium with me, Mira says with a shrug. She can feel the grin on her face. It's either that or drive back home. Rumi gently pushes Zoe's back to urge her to take them onto the other section. Mira and Zoe are left trying not to laugh too hard and draw attention to themselves. Zoe doesn't take them very far. In fact, the I know what these are, Rumi says, mildly staring blankly at them. These are. Zoe nods her head up and down happily. She claps her hands together in pride. I'm proud of you, Rumi. Rumi smiles at her. Sorry, I heard some noises. Rumi smiles at her, shy but glowing. Zoe points to the other guy behind the one staring at Mira. Behind the one staring at Mira. Mira stares back at it, silently challenging it. Cuttlefish have awesome skin cells that they can use to reflect light and produce different pigments, Zoe explains. And something about her focused look and that pleased smile on her face, Mira's stomach dance with butterfly fish. So silly. A lot of people think that a lot of people think that makes them bioluminescent, but it's close-ish. They reflect. They use it to camouflage and mimic things in their environment and communicate with other cuttlefish. Like, hey kid, what you staring at? She deepens her voice and uses a New York accent for the cuttlefish staring at them. It makes Rumi laugh. She laughs for a while until it fades away and her smile into turns turns into I'm guessing that there's a typo. And her smile turns into mild horror. Mira has to curl her lips inward to keep from laughing again. Wait, are you saying I'm like that? Rumi asks, voice cracking. It just makes Zoe and Mira giggle some more. I don't I don't reflect. My patterns are I don't think. What, so you're bioluminescent? Mira asks, lifting her eyebrows in amusement. No! Rumi looks a little horrified. At least I don't think I am? She's so. Zoe giggles and she pokes at the strip of skin underneath Rumi's crop top. Her fingertips trace over one of Rumi's larger patterns, the one that curves over her stomach and over her navel. Mira swears that she can see Rumi shiver under the light of the aquarium. We could try some light exercises at home if you want. Zoe says innocently, batting her eyelashes. Surely she knows what she's doing. The only thing that comes out of Rumi's mouth is, uh. Mira's glad that she's not the only one at a loss for words. She tries to save Rumi anyway. I'm guessing they use their colors to attract mates. Mira guesses. It's not the best save in the world, but at least it's something. Zoe nods with a smile. They basically put on a light show to flirt. They can use different parts of their body to signal to a mate, and then other parts to warn a rival to stay away, she explains, pointing at the one still staring at Mira. I think he's trying to impress you, Mira, she teases. Mira wrinkles her nose. It makes both Zoe and Rumi laugh, and Rumi's patterns pulse. Then Zoe points at Rumi, and Mira is absolutely delighted to see that she's no longer the victim of Zoe's whims. Eyes sparkling like the refraction of light in the waves, Zoe declares, See? Like cuttlefish! Except more like you're glowing rather than releasing pigments, but meh. If Rumi turns pink, does that count for releasing pigments? Mira teases. Rumi pinches her side with a strangled noise in the back of her throat. She snickers. Yeah, I think so, Zoe says with a bob of her head, completely serious. Then she snaps her fingers. Rumi's a firefly squid. Mira can't stop laughing at that, even if she tried. It hurts her stomach so much that she has to put a hand over her upper ribs, and Rumi just stares at the both of them, mortified. I'm a squid? I'm a squid? Rumi echoes, aghast. A firefly squid, Zoe confirms with a wolfish grin. Mira's still laughing so much that she's almost certain she's going to start collapsing anytime soon. They're common in Japan. I saw them when I was at the Hotaruika Museum with my harmony. Harmony? Harmony. You know what? We should go sometime, Zoe says excitedly. Sure, Mira says between her bouts of laughter. Rumi is glaring at her hard enough to pierce, but her flickering, embarrassed patterns only make her laugh some more behind her fists. Sure, Zoe, whenever you want, she wheezes. Rumi could be a comb jellyfish too, Zoe says, almost to herself. She's stroking her imagery beard as she thinks. They can glow in the dark like the firefly squids. I like the jellyfish better, Rumi proclaims. But they don't have brains, Zoe finishes soberly. It makes Mira laugh even more. She doesn't care who turns around to see them anymore, because all she cares about is the way that Rumi looks as if Zoe had slapped her around her entire family, and how Zoe stands there with her hands on her hips like she was proud to do it. They try to make Rumi stop sulking after they walk from the tanks. Zoe peppers her kisses all over Rumi's cheek, whispering her apologies, even when she's smiling in that wolfy way. And Mira is not far behind with her hand between Rumi's strong shoulder blades. Rumi's patterns flicker some more, less intensely, but just as wonderfully Rumi. Mira has to resist the urge to kiss them better. From the way that Zoe stares while Rumi continues to look away from them and sulk, Mira has a feeling that she might be thinking something similar. But knowing Zoe, it's probably the urge to bite them that she's resisting. Hopefully we'll get some biting soon, right, Right, Reef? Right, Reef? Kissing gay. Are we getting biting, Reef? I'm calling you out. Huh? Don't act like that right now. Why me? And here we thought Rumi was the biter. You said it, girl. You said it. What did I do? You said you would write something with biting in it. You love talking about writing. Oh my god, speaking of hi, Chris. Hi, Chris. Guess what we're talking about? Love nibbles. Reef is a biter. Maybe I did do that. Hi, Chris. Um, they're talking about Zoe being a biter, and I was like, someone promised a biting fic. I being outed right now. I love outing Reef. It's my favorite pastime. It's my favorite pastime. Yes, he did. Okay, but I'm like, I'm just joking. Where's my biting? Busy right now. No, it's okay. You're literally at work and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. In all seriousness, you literally don't. I think it's fun to make fun of you. I'm sorry. Not already openly flirting with Reva. I guess I'm a hypocrite because I was like, take that shit to the Discord, but nope. But we want biting. People are speaking, Reef. All the polycule wants me. All the polycule does want Reef. The polycule wants Reef bad. We're all gonna go to Alaska. Even though her work is ending. um Anyways, let's keep going. Oh my god. Oh, sorry, my throat felt weird. Okay, Heard. I'll work on it, jeez. It's okay, girl. Don't feel pressured. They steadily make their way through the rest of the aquarium. The speakers above them are playing gentle classical music, which Mira appreciates. It helps mask Zoe's voice from the rest of the people around them, and so that only she and Rumi could hear her talk about how sea cucumbers clean seafloors and how squid brains wrap around their esophagus. One of Mira's favorite facts, really. How squid brains wrap around their esophagus? That's crazy. I love all the facts that Jamie puts in their fix. I'm like, wow, fascinating. She knows it's a little selfish of her to want to be the only to want to be the only one of two people on this earth who can hear Zoe be this happy. But when Zoe gets to talk on lives when she eats and streams all of her video games and talks to their fans about the new comic book run she picked up, would it really be all too selfish of her to keep this one thing for herself? Zoe is in the middle of talking about how certain animals use sharks as scratching posts when Mira sees something bump into the tank next to her elbow. She looks down and screams so loud that it melds with the scream of the little boy somewhere in the room. What the fuck? Mira cries, jumping so far back that her back presses up against Rumi. Rumi holds her shoulder, and she can feel her shaking with laughter. Zoe walks over to them to inspect the culprit. When she sees it, she bites on her lip to keep from giggling. Oh, Mira, Rumi coos. Unlike Zoe, she has no decorum when it comes to suppressing her laughter. You're scared of that little guy? Little guy? Mira asks in disbelief, still out of breath. She has her hand over her chest to keep her heart from jumping out. She points accusingly at the thing in the tank. It's staring at her. Why does everything in this aquarium like to stare at her? What the hell is that? Mira asks desperately. Zoe's smatter of giggles makes Mira's face heat up some more, and she answers, those are wolf eels, sometimes called wolfies. They're a little ugly. A little? Mira says, affronted. But they're gentle, Zoe finishes with with a chuckle. She coaxes Mira to come closer to the tank to take a look at the eel. Trust me, the little guy won't do anything to you. I didn't think he would, Mira argues, still warm in the face. She looks around the room to make sure that no one noticed her little outbursts and is unendingly thankful to see that there's no one else around them. He just scared me, she grumbles under her breath. Rumi laughs. She puts her fingertip on the glass, right where the wolf eel's pointed teeth are. He's cute, she admits. Her face softens as she continues. I think you made him a little sad, Mira. Sad? Mira can't honestly believe what she's hearing. Yeah, Mira, Zoe pipes up. She jabs her in the ribs. You should apologize to him. On closer inspection, the ugly, pardon her, the shy thing, does look a little more morose. Or maybe that's just how it looks on a day to day basis, which is relatable. My girl, a girl can't even have an RBF anymore. Zoe and Rumi are still looking at her expectantly. Mira looks back at them in disbelief, but they continue to stare at her and pout. And ugh, Mira hates when they do that. Trying to survive one was already hard enough. Sorry, dude, Mira mumbles to the eel. She feels a little goofy doing it. At least it makes Zoe and Rumi smile. How big do they get? Rumi asks sincerely. And Mira is thankful for the question for two reasons. It keeps Zoe from teasing her some more for getting spooked, and something about the genuine, innocent way she seems to hang on to every fact about these animals tugs at the strings in her chest. Her beautiful Rumi, uh, who loves to learn everything about what makes a creature unique, and her pretty Zoe, who is more than happy to provide it. Ugh. They can get up to 8 feet, I think, Zoe says, tilting her head and looking up to ponder. Her eyes light up, and Mira is already smiling to herself when she remarks, Hey, hey, did you know that juvenile wolf eels are super bright? They're usually orange or purple, I think. Reminds me of you and Mira. Yeah? Rumi asks, the fond smile apparent in her tone. Yeah, Zoe says, nodding and happily oblivious to the way they're looking at her. They also mate for life. The parents like to take care of the eggs together, which you almost never see in the fishy kingdom. Really? Mira asks, both intrigued and surprised. Yeah, Zoe says again. Her eyes are wide with excitement, and her hands are moving around in front of her as she talks. The female can lay up to a cluster of 10,000 eggs inside their cave den. The parents don't leave each other even after the eggs hatch. Isn't that cool? Man, I kind of wish I had parents like that. Ooh. Ooh, that's rough, buddy. That's so rough, buddy. Oh my god. Zoe's parents divorced in every universe. Ouch. Literally. Not the casual trauma dumping. That's very gay of her. that's very, that's very flirty gay of her. We do trauma dumping and flirting at the same time. Feel ya, Zoe, feel ya. Aw. Um, she sighs wistfully, and Rumi rubs her back. She kisses Zoe on the temple, murmurs something to her that Mira can't hear over the classical music, and for once, she wishes the music quieted enough for her to hear it. She wants to know how to make Zoe feel better like that, too. She wants to know the right words to say, in the way Rumi always seems to know how. They find the jellyfish next. Zoe wants to look for some jellyfish that may look like plushies that she got for her and Rumi at the amusement park a while back. Oh, the jellyfish. Mira makes sure to take as many pictures of them as she possibly can. They offer to take pictures of her too, and she lets them. but only because she likes how they look at her from over the camera lens. Only Zoe and Rumi could ever make her feel like that. Not even a room full of people at a fashion show could make her feel as important as they do. At some point, Rumi has trouble looking for the moon jellyfish that Zoe is raving about. Mira has to grab her chin and point it upwards. She wasn't even rough about it, even made sure to be gentle, so she doesn't understand why Rumi squeaks or why she tells her that it's because Mira's fingers are cold. When Mira knows for a fact that Rumi was just complaining about how sweaty her hands were at the other exhibit. They make their way to the infamous Tunnel 2, the one where the fish surround them on either side, and they're moved along on a slow moving platform that takes them across. Mira leans on the railing and stares up at the shark that moves above them. From what she remembers from Zoe's shark rambles, this should be a sand tiger shark. Its teeth are sharp, and Mira finds herself admiring how strong and powerful it looks as it darts across its giant tank. Zoe and Rumi are standing in front of her. Zoe has her arms snaked around Rumi's bicep, and Rumi has her hand resting gently on Zoe's waist. If Mira was further back in the line, she would assume that they were a couple. Great. Honestly, even being this close, she kind of thinks that they are. Zoe is pointing at all the different sea animals that they pass by. She's whispering to Rumi, practically cheek to cheek with her, about all the facts that she could remember about them. Zoe would bounce here and there whenever she would see a turtle, and Rumi would only lean her head back to admire her with that soft, gentle smile traced on her lips. Mira hears something about flat teeth and being surprisingly social, and juveniles look completely different. You wouldn't even believe it. And they're giggling. They're giggling and squeezing intertwined fingers, nuzzling and leaning on one another. And they're giggling some more. They're cute together. And Mira can't help but think just how perfect they look for each other. Oh, God. Great. Awesome. Not just because they look cute, but also because Zoe will like having a partner that loves her attention no matter what and in every capacity. And Rumi would love the open, happy way that Zoe gives her love in return. They would be the kind of couple who would swing their hands together down the street, the couple who kiss in lines for roller coasters, the kind who would wear loud and proud couple matching tees and hats, and the kind who would spoon feed each other bites of dessert in public restaurants. They would be the couple that every person would envy for themselves. Mira is not exempt from that. But Mira always fucks up. She is a fuck up. Jesus Christ. The black sheep, the misfit, the stray, the lone wolf in a pack that should have survived together. Are we calling Mira a dog? Are we calling Mira a dog in this here? Great. I have not read that fic, by the way. I have not. I need to. I love demo. I need to read that. I need to read that fic. Bark, bark, bark. That's what you took from that? When I tell you that my brain is rotten, I will take anything from anything. I will take anything from anything you don't understand. Bark, bark, bark. Night, all of you beautiful people. Have fun. Bye. Woo. Bye, Politrix. We are ruining Artie in the Discord. Trust. Oh no. Right now? Ruining me right now? Jesus. Mira werewolf fic inbound. Artie is being corrupted. Yeah, I am. This fandom has corrupted me to the ends of the universe. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Um I was gonna say something and then I decided not to say it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Already know, I mean, I meant like your brain. What? No. Wait, what? The mega kill has corrupted you, Artie. Is that a bad thing? Okay, let's keep going. If I'm sounding a little tired, it's because we are we are at the 3 hour mark. Not the mega kill. The mega kill is so funny. I don't even like post there, but I am like lurking there all the time. It's ridiculous. Um she's always been the one to instigate any sort of argument with her family. Them too. She's brash and snappy, and she hates not being in control of a situation. Her aggression means that people often turn their noses at her. She can't stop herself from being blunt, even if she wanted to. It is who she is, and she's long accepted it. um, yeah. She wouldn't fit in between Rumi and Zoe. Not like that. You keep telling yourself that. It's not true. The thought drowns her. It makes her feel like she's submerged herself with the other fish in the tank, with salt water burning her throat and eyes. But when she hears them laugh, both of them, she could pick out both of their laughter in a tidal wave. She'd be able to pick it out in the aftermath. It helps her breathe again. The cloth over her face is no longer tortures her, and all she's left with is a sense of repose, peace, acceptance, maybe. She knows that they deserve each other, but she knows them well enough that they would never intentionally leave her out of anything. A family is a family, no matter what dynamics may change or turn. She would be just fine standing on the back burner if it meant keeping them in her life. She just wants her girls to be happy. It's almost a relief, actually, to know that they would be happy together rather than with other people out of her little family. At least it means that she wouldn't have to shake hands with some other guy and pretend that she likes the idea of them being with her girls. That she doesn't feel like baring her teeth every time they slip their sweaty, unworthy hands on precious porcelain skin like Rumi and Zoe's. Territorial, that little voice whispers to her. You are being territorial, possessive. Love. We love possessive Mira. And fine, maybe she is. So what? Rumi and Zoe have always deserved the best, after all. So when the tunnel ends and Mira holds on to both of their hands to gently guide them off the platform without failing, the question is already sitting like a salty cracker on the flat of her tongue. Can we? She starts quietly, eyes already drifting to the lone corner by a dimly illuminated tank. Wait, hold that thought, Zoe says quickly. She's looking around until she spots what she needs, and she throws out a quick bathroom break, BRB, over her shoulder before sprinting away. Rumi laughs, fond and breathless. Wait, I think I skipped. She has her arms crossed gently over her chest, her eyes still square on Zoe's retreating back. Mira touches her gently on the small of her back. She feels Rumi stiffen under her fingers until she relaxes when she eyes her. Can we talk really quick? Mira asks her gently. Rumi watches her face. She's probably looking for an answer just from the way that Mira is looking at her, but she won't find it. Even though Mira wears her heart on her sleeve for them, this topic needs to be breached with more than just the look in her eyes. Mira sighs through her nose endearingly. I'm not mad at you, if that's what you're thinking, she tells her honestly. And nothing's wrong. I just want to ask you something. Uh, Rumi starts, wary. She studies the look on Mira's face one last time before giving her an affirmative. Yeah, sure. What's up? Mira looks around them. There's only a couple families with strollers here, but she doesn't want to take any chances. She takes Rumi by the hand and brings them over to the corner. She doesn't waste any more time after that. Do you like Zoe? Okay, let's go. We're getting to the meat. Do you like Zoe? Mira asks. Like she said, she's blunt. There's no way she's going to be circling around something like this. Rumi's blink is slow, like the frogs they saw in the reptile section. She mouths something to herself, like she's trying to test it out for herself. Then she says, I mean, yeah, I like you both. Mira's exhale from her nose is rough. I'm not asking if you like being around Zoe, she says slowly, for Rumi's benefit. I'm asking if you like her. She doesn't even bother with the whole like thing. They're both adults. Rumi should know. But Rumi is still looking at her with that lost look in her eyes. And Mira has no other choice but to close her eyes, count to 5, then murmur without opening them. Rumi, I'm asking if you want to kiss her whenever she talks about turtles. If you think about her when she's not here. If your heart does that stupid lurchy thing when she giggles at your stupid jokes. She is describing herself. She's painfully aware of it, but she chooses not to focus on that right now. One crisis at a time. Rumi's eyes widen to comical degrees. She's doing that fishy mouth open and close thing again, but her skin is beginning to turn so red that it overrides the blue lighting from the tank next to them. Sorry. Mira can outline her patterns from here. She could trace them with her fingers, the grays of her lips. Jamie loves doing the thing where she'll where the girls will like start describing like very sensual actions to each other and then like cut them off. Oh, Jamie. Oh my god. Rumi's laughter is fake and forced. What? She asks in disbelief, eyes still wide. No, what? No, I mean, that's not. She laughs again, lighter, but still just as forced. Mira, you're getting all that stuff online in your head. It's probably true, but why does that matter? Zoe's sweet, but she's not. Rumi looks like she's desperately racking her mind for something to say. Mira watches her silently. She wants to give Rumi the time to work through it. It's just a little baffling, is all. How hard was it to say that that Zoe wasn't her type, that she sees Zoe just as a friend or a sister, unless those things weren't true, and she knows that Rumi is probably starting to see it too. But Rumi has always been just as stubborn as she is. Rumi says fiercely, Zoe's just Zoe, you know? She's fun and I like being around her, but that doesn't mean that I want to. Mira just keeps looking at her, unflinching. Ruby continues rambling, like saying anything at all would lessen the chasm that's beginning to open up between them. Seriously, it's not like that. It's not like that. I don't. She's sweet and everything, but it doesn't have to mean anything. And Rumi, Mira says softly. She can tell that Rumi would have spiraled right into another anxiety attack if she hadn't said anything. Mira curls her finger underneath Rumi's chin and presses upwards. She coaxes Rumi to look at her. Her other hand wraps around Rumi's wrist to squeeze. I'm not asking you because I'm upset, Mira says, even if the words feel like sand in her mouth. I'd be happy for you both, seriously. I just want to ask because if you need help, wingmanning or something, I don't know. She's beginning to feel out of her depth again. She knows with every stumble of her words. But Rumi doesn't pay much mind to it. Her eyes grow wide again, and she counters, I'm not. Seriously, I'm not. I don't like Zoe. Not like that. She's Zoe. I don't really think I ever studies her face. She watches every curve of her lips. She knows all of Rumi's tells during game nights, even if she argues that she doesn't. She knows Rumi inside and out. And it means that she knows Rumi is telling the truth. At least the truth that feels like the truth to Rumi herself. Denial can be such a deep thing. Not that Mira would know about it. Mira would rather like accept the truth, accept the fact herself, and just not talk about it. Well, she will eventually. It leaves her at a crossroads. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. Okay. She could either press and show Rumi that there could be something more to how she feels about Zoe, or she could let Rumi find out on her own. It does make her wonder how long it would take for Rumi to find out by herself, though. Or Zoe. That makes Mira freeze. Is that why Zoe was so weird during their trip to New York? Because she realized she liked Rumi and she was trying to hide it? It would make a lot of sense. Oh shit. Mira opens her mouth to say something, anything really, but then she spots a froggy bucket hat bouncing somewhere in the near distance. Like a blown out candle, both of them clamp up the rest of their words. Zoe bounces over to them and smooths out smooths out her shirt with a smile, and she groans. Oh my god, the bathroom was so nice. It smelled like sea salt and lavender, and the sinks had these little trinkets that I kind of wanted to. She stops when she spots the look on Zoe, Rumi, and Mira's faces. Her face drops. Are you guys fighting again? She asks, dejected. No! Rumi and Mira yell at the same time. We were just talking, Mira says, quick, desperate to wipe the frown on Zoe's face. Yeah, Rumi adds, bobbing her head up and down. About the weedy sea dragons we saw. Oh, Zoe looks like she accepts the answer. She looks between the both of them one last time, then asks, I think there's two more sections to the aquarium. Do either of you need to use the bathroom too? We're good, Mira says, still quick. She sweeps her hand over to the entrance to the next exhibit. Lead the way. Zoe flashes her a smile, the same kind of bold smile that twists like a towel in Mira's chest, and they're led away. Rumi hangs back with Mira this time. I'll drop in now if you really don't want to talk about it. Mira murmurs, looking straight ahead and into Zoe's frog hat. And I believe you, for the record. I guess you were right about getting too deep into the fan stuff. Rumi's shoulders drop at that. It happens to the best of us, she comforts, a hand on Mira's forearm. She squeezes, then says, But yeah, thanks for looking out for me, though. Mira nods shortly. She doesn't trust what else she has to say. Rumi jokes slightly. But hey, if I like someone in the future, I'll come straight to you next time, okay? I want to see what wingman Mira can do. Mira doesn't like how that feels like a kick to the stomach. Or um kick to the stomach. Oh my god, I lost it. She tries to cover it up by saying, albeit quietly, yeah, for sure. The next exhibit is built more like a stadium. Baikal seals? Baikal? Baikal? What are Baikal seals? Baikal seals are performing with the trainers. This is why when you're preparing for an audiobook, you have to read it out loud so you know what you need to look up. Performing with the trainers, and the modest crowd has gathered. Mira wraps her arms around Zoe's waist to put her chin on top of the bucket hat. Zoe laughs and grabs her hand to tug her closer. Zoe feels exceptionally warm, just as she always is in every part of their lives. They gasp in awe whenever the seals would do tricks. Rumi, in particular, seems to be enjoying it a lot. She takes a lot of pictures and a lot of selfies, and Mira loves the way that her smile seems to grow more and more lopsided with every trick from the seals. When Rumi entertains herself by pressing her phone screen close to her face to record more of the seals, Mira finds it as good a time as any to talk to Zoe about it. Hey, can I ask you something? Mira asks, her breath against the shell of Zoe's ear. Zoe scrunches up her shoulders and bats at her with a laugh. Still, she manages to reply with, I don't know much about Baikal seals before you ask. We could ask the trainers together later if you want. It's not that, Mira says, her voice low. She makes sure not to breathe against Zoe's ear to keep from tickling her. Zoe looks over her shoulder and cranes her neck to look at her suspiciously. Is something wrong? She asks, dripping in worry. Mira shakes her head. She tightens her hold around Zoe's waist. The seals perform a trick in the water, and people around them gasp and yell out in surprise. Do you want me to wait until the seal show is over? Sorry. Do you want me to wait until the seal show is over? Mira shouts over the noise. Zoe shakes her head. The tips of the frog bucket hat tickles Mira's chin. I'm going to die of curiosity if you don't tell me now, Zoe tells her gravely. She raises her eyebrows at Mira. Did something happen between you and Rumi again? Mira swallows. Not exactly, she says cryptically, and Zoe's face only scrunches up some more with confusion. She's not even sure why she won't just ask it outright. Maybe she's scared to hear it from Zoe because she knows Zoe well enough to read the look on her face, even if she denies it. And she knows that out of the three of them, Zoe is the one who knows how to interpret her heart the best. And there's that slight fear that Zoe might know too, that Zoe might see the look on Mira's face when she confirms it, and she would know. But Mira has never really ran from anything before, and she doesn't want to start now. Do you like her? Mira blurts out. She keeps her voice she keeps her voice low enough. So just imagine I kept my voice low there. Low enough to keep Rumi from looking over to them. Rumi is just less than an arm's length away, still filming on her phone, still cheering and smiling. Zoe's face contorts some more until it releases when she follows where Mira is looking. And all Mira sees is panic written all over her. It's the only answer she needs, which is a good thing, too, because the moment Zoe parts her lips to respond, the trainers tell them that the show is almost over and that the seals have one more neat trick, and everyone begins to push against them to watch. It's a shame. Mira wanted to know if Zoe was going to make up another excuse like Rumi had, or if she would have confessed everything about her feelings for Rumi. She honestly doesn't know which response she would have preferred. The show ends, the three of them cheer, and what Mira had asked is quickly forgotten. She's sure that they'll have time to talk about it at home or whenever Zoe was ready to spill, but it's the anticipation that kills her for the rest of that night at the aquarium. They find more turtles in a special rehabilitation tank. There's a worker nearby who explains the stories of the turtles they're housing, and Zoe and Rumi seem completely enraptured by it. Mira wouldn't be surprised if they ended up donating some more money to the aquarium after this. There's a grand piano near the aquarium's cafe and touch tanks. There are substantially more children around, but Mira doesn't mind. Rumi and Zoe goad her to play something before they head down to the gift shop. And Mira has never been one to deny her girls of anything. A few kids come up to her side when she plays. Just a simple tune, a classical song that was beaten into her when she was around their age because their parents wanted because her parents wanted to the status. What? She was learning because her parents wanted to the status of a child protege. I think there's some grammatical thing going there. She bets her parents wanted her to play the song in symphony halls. Instead, she plays for two girls who watch her with those peculiar little looks in their eyes, and for children who beg her to play cartoon theme songs and teach them how to play like she does. I love playing cartoon theme songs on my violin. I love playing cartoon. Wait, guys, I am reunited. I didn't have my violin back at home. I'm reunited. Um, I should practice. I should really practice. Play Megalovania! I haven't, I might maybe try playing it. How the okay. I might try. We need a violin night. I need to practice more. The thing is, I haven't been practicing that much. Mother Mira back at it again. Yeah. Oh, I love. Okay. Mira can see Zoe and Rumi taking pictures of her from the corner of her eye. She even swears she hears Zoe say something like, I'll be so for real, I need her to get me. I need her to get me before a kid bangs on the keys and she can't hear the rest. But it makes me laugh, and her face gets pink enough for her patterns to shine through again. She tries to make a mental note too, but more children mess of dissonant keys and the sounds of wine. Her one on her lap and keeps the key on her knee while she points out the notes. She's patient as she teaches. Mira being good with kids, Rune being annoyingly good with dogs, and our trips I saw and didn't know I need. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Mira being good with kids make me wanna. I love her. I love her. She's patient as she teaches. A child will never know pressure and burden while she's there. You know that Mira is going to be a good mom. You just know. Reef is driving home, guys. Be safe. Be safe. Don't message. Don't message in the Discord while driving. Okay. See right here? See right here? There's one, then two. Mira starts patiently, taking the child's hand between her fingers to point it at each white key. And right before that is called what? See! The kid yells proudly, but it sounds more like she! She! Mira chuckles and pecks the top of her Promise me you'll save me promise me you'll save me a seat when you become famous? She asks slightly. I'm gonna throw up. This is so sweet. She lets down the kid to let her run back to her mom and ramble about what she knows about the piano keys. There are a few more children at her side, smashing the keys discordantly. But kids are kids, and all Mira does is tell them to do it a little bit lighter because they could hurt the piano's feelings. That's really cute. She bids them goodbye and lets one of the older kids sit down on the bench after her. She can hear them playing random notes as she makes her way back to Rumi and Zoe. They're helping a kid. Helping tie a kid's shoe. The father thanks them profusely, and Zoe shakes her head with a smile. Rumi is crouched down, smiling at the kid and waving at him. Mira freezes where she is to watch them. She can see where the appeal comes from. Now, when the father and child leave, Rumi and Zoe turn their attention to her. Their smiles widen, they become impossibly softer, and it feels exactly like a Sunday morning when they have no obligations besides sleep and the existence of one another. It feels like the tide of a mighty ocean when it finally comes to her. And yet, when it lands, it's as gentle as the water lapping at her feet. She loves them. She would take her pounding heart out of her chest and cleave it right in two to help theirs beat. Oh my god, that's such poetry. Oh my god. She would do anything for them, and it feels so simple, so known, that it makes her laugh loudly without restraint by the time she makes it over to them. It confuses both Zoe and Rumi. They look at each other like they don't know what to make of it, until Rumi ventures to ask, You're not laughing because a kid said something mean about us, right? Of course not, Mira says, still giddy. She can feel the grin on her face, cheeks aching as much as her chest. God, she's been so stupid. Are you thinking about the cuttlefish again? Zoe guesses excitedly. I kind of want to go back. Honestly, me too, Rumi says sheepishly. Zoe gasps, turning to look from Rumi and Mira and back again. Do you think we should? Sure, Mira just says. Of course, anything you guys want. It's a long walk from where they are to where the cuttlefish are, but sure, anything for them. Anything they could ever ask of her, she would do. Zoe laughs. She tugs at Mira's arm and she remarks, Mira, you're being so weird. I was kidding. Well, I think it's cute she offered anyway, Rumi muses. And that sweet smile she gives Mira is making Mira feel like they were in the electric eel room, live wired and jumpy. Are you guys ready to go? You don't want to check out the gift shop first? Mira asks. She nods over to the corner nearby where she can see the gift shop sign. I didn't even see that! Zoe exclaims, and she has both of her hands in a vice grip between Mira and Rumi's wrists. She's tugging them forward. Kacha, kacha, kacha! Maybe we can find a cute matching t-shirts for all three of us. Give me a second. Water break. Mm. Mira fell hardest, Your Honor. Mm-hmm. As expected. They loop around the gift shop for half an hour. Zoe shows them all the cheesy t-shirts that they could find. Rumi is just as invested in the cheesy, punny mugs that they have on display. Mira buys Mira buys Rumi the mug that she's been staring at the longest. She also buys a giant turtle plushie for Zoe, a cuter one this time, and not the gremlin half bald looking one that they found at the amusement park. Zoe peppers half of her face in thankful kisses. Rumi gasps when Mira presents the mug to her outside the gift shop, and she pulls Mira into a hug so tight that she could smell her sweet perfume with every breath. Mira's cheeks hurt from smiling. She wonders if she'll wake up with a sore face in the morning. The VIP parking lot is practically empty when they leave the aquarium. Zoe's squishing her new plushie against her cheek, rambling about wanting to show it off on her next stream as soon as she can, while Rumi cradles her mug against her navel like it's the most precious thing in the world. And Mira hauls the other merch and shirts in paper bags slung over her shoulder. On the way to the car, Zoe runs up to her side to hold her hand. Zoe laces them together without another thought. Mira slides her eyes down to Zoe in amusement. I have ADHD. Oh, I ugh. Zoe laces them together without another thought. Okay. Mira slides her eyes down to Zoe in amusement, just in time to watch her snap a picture of their intertwined fingers. Ah, okay. Rumi! Rumi! Zoe barks, looking up and motioning Rumi forward. They stare at each other for a moment, silently communicating. Then Rumi laughs and breathes out something close to, geez, all right, and walks over to Mira. She wraps her fingers around Mira's forearm on the other side of Zoe, and Zoe snaps a pic. Mira blinks. She peers over at Zoe's screen to see what she's doing. Why are you posting that? She asks curiously. If she sounds giddy about it, no, she doesn't. Fans like to eat that kind of thing up, Zoe says dismissively, but her smile is too curled with that blitheful, warm joy, and her cheeks and neck are too red. Not to mention that she isn't even looking at Mira. Things into the to be in the passenger seat this time. Mira makes sure that the back seat's air conditioning is working for Rumi, and she begins to pull out of the parking lot. Rumi is showing Zoe the sign language for sea turtle that someone showed her in the gift shop. Palms stacked on top of each and thumbs moving like an actual turtle. Wait, so that would be like this. That's so cute. I would love to learn sign language. I'm too lazy, unfortunately. Mira loves how their laughter sounds in her car. It's better than any song on the radio she could ever find. Ugh. Bobby calls them when they're cruising on the highway. Rumi answers, and all three of them say, "Hi, Bobby!" "Hi, girls!" Bobby starts, sounding tired but happy. She can hear the sound of a coffee maker in the background. How was how was the aquarium? Did you have fun? The turtles didn't bite you guys, did they? Do turtles have rabies? Do you think I need to schedule some rounds of rabies shots if we're fine, Bobby? Rumi says, laughing lightly under her breath. She has the phone between the three of them above the console. The aquarium was lots of fun. We'll probably head down and visit the turtles again after our tour. Mira nips her bottom lip. She forgot that they were starting their tour in a month, hence the reason why they've been trending so much lately. The songs on their new album are pretty good, she has to admit. TikTok is making me complete tasks again. That's great. I'm happy for you girls, Bobby says sincerely. He clears his throat and his voice gets a little bit more strange as he adds, So, the company made sure to get into contact with Mira's brother. There was a verbal agreement, and I just want to let you know that it's A-okay now. Thank you. Oh my God. It's A-okay now. Mira goes quiet. She can feel Rumi and Zoe staring at her, too. She forgot about that, too. She was having so much fun today with Rumi and Zoe that she completely forgot what she was upset about that morning. Funny how a couple hours in an aquarium with her most favorite people in the world could turn things around like that. Thanks, Bobby, Mira says sincerely when no one else says anything. She has one hand on the steering wheel and she doesn't even grip it any harder than she does. She feels untroubled by it. She clears her throat. Seriously, thanks. I don't know how you managed to get him to agree to anything, so thanks for taking care of that. Oh, Bobby sounds surprised to hear it. Oh, it wasn't me. It was Celine. The sound of that name brings her and Zoe's eyes over to Rumi. Rumi's face is inscrutable, opaque. She's gotten good with that over the years. It makes Mira frown to herself. Bobby laughs nervously. She can hear a clink of a spoon against the mug on his end. Funny timing, actually. She asked me if there was any chance if oh my god. Thank you. I've been branded queen. I've been uh uh throned. Funny timing actually. She asked me if there was any chance if Rumi was available for a meeting before your tour. Now she didn't tell me why, and she did sound a little urgent about it, but hey, I'm more than capable of telling her no if you're not. I can check my schedule later, Rumi says, her voice impassible. I'll let you know when I can. Thanks. Mira wipes the shock off her face. She can see Zoe trying to do the same next to her. Bobby seemingly choked on his drink, and he coughs a couple times before he wheezes. Sounds good. I'll pass on the message. You're drinking hella late tonight, Bobby, Mira muses. She flicks on the turn signal to change lanes. Any reason we can help out with? Oh, no, no, Bobby insists, still choking slightly on his coffee. I'm good. I'm chillaxing. I just have some paperwork to do later tonight and prep for your tour. Zoe giggles and asks knowingly, Want us to send you a gift basket? Well, I wouldn't say that you have to. Already done, Zoe says, thumbing around on her phone. Bobby sighs in relief, and Mira laughs. You girls are the best, he says happily. We need to treat Bobby like a king all the freaking time. He says happily, then sips some more on his coffee. See, this is why everyone thinks you've been in a secret marriage for the past few years. You know how to take care of people and each other. All three of their laughter in the car sounds nervous and forced. Whoa! Oh my god! Music flames! Music flames. Like just I was sorry, Celine got mentioned and I remembered my interactions with Rumi, the Rumi roleplay account on Twitter yesterday. Like the main Rumi, one of the main Rumi roleplay accounts. And what do you have to say about my mother? I have complicated feelings about your mother, Rumi. A universe. Um, yeah, I that has been put in the quotes chat. I have complicated things about Celine. um, I'll let you three enjoy the rest of your night after one more thing. Bobby declares. Rumi hums, and Mira opens the center console to grab a water bottle, which Zoe passes to Rumi before she could ask for it. They smile at each other in lieu of a verbal thank you and no problem. Bobby is shuffling some papers around on the other end. Then he asks, Your 5 p.m. appearance on that radio show asked me to submit your full names to them for their intros. They wouldn't let me nullify Mira's no matter how many times I asked or begged. Mira clicks her tongue in disapproval. She's almost tempted to tell him to let them skip out on that appearance because every show on this planet should know by now that Mira just goes by Mira. But she also knows that the radio show is important for exposure. There's Ryurumi, Choizo didn't want her, and neither. Just give them Rumi's last name or something. Rumi chokes on her water. People online say that hers sound better with my name. Squeak next to her. What do you think, Zoe? I could give both, Bobby offers happily. People hyphenate multiple last names in the States, don't they, Zoe? Do you have a preference for whose name goes first, or should we do a coin flip to decide? Mira can't help but chuckle, but cackle. Bobby's treating it like a normal occurrence. Maybe she should ask the company to give him a raise. Yeah, please give Bobby 5% at least. Please. Please. She's demanding that last name. She is. Um, Choi Mira sounds nice, Rumi says automatically. She looks startled afterwards, like she's surprised it came out of her own mouth. What? Rumi looks over at her, gawking and open mouthed. Why can't it be Ryu? Oh, so you want me to take yours? Mira drawls. She has both of her hands on the steering wheel now. She's trying so very hard not to grin. My fingers bare, Rumi. Get to it. Thank you, Nat. That fingers. Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. Put a damn ring on it, baby. Put a damn ring on it. Even if we got married, it's not like you take my name anyway, Rumi hisses, but her patterns are flickering with her emotions. Mira loves when they do that. Zoe snickers. So you thought of. Zoe could, Rumi suddenly claims, to look at Zoe with that sweet, charming smile. Mira's glad she isn't in Zoe's position. She would have died of heart palpitations. Uh, don't people in America take each other's names? Didn't you say you always wanted to be a Ryu? Because my bias was your mom, Zoe exclaims, looking downright mortified. Her voice is so high that it's squeaking. Why would you think I want to? What if you took my. And done, Bobby says loudly. Mira is thankful for him for the nth time that day alone. Just sent an email to the network to put down Mira of Huntrix for your name. If that doesn't work, then we can figure something else out. How's that? Mira's slightly disappointed that they didn't go with the other route, but she's also very thankful for it. She didn't want her impulse flirting to be the reason why they get yet another week of people fighting about hashtag polytricks or whatever ships they had in mind. That and Mira of Huntrix suits her. It's who she is. It's who she belongs to and always will. I'll drink to that. I'll drink some water to that. Sounds awesome, Bobby, Rumi replies for her. She can hear the smile in Rumi's tone without having to turn around to look at her. Do you need anything else? Not for tonight, Bobby says happily. Have a good night, girls. Get home safe. Text me your aquarium haul when you get the chance. Sir, yes, sir, Zoe shouts. Bobby cuts the line, and Rumi sits back down in her seat. There's a gentle lull in the car after that. Breathless laughter. Romantic for a ride home. I'm gonna check how long. Oh, okay. The lull in the car reminds her of the gentle shore, the lapping of the water against her ankles, rocking back and forth. She already had a developing plan in the back of her mind while they were in the gift shop, one with lots of flowers that say something poetic in the flower language, lots of hired musicians, probably some candles, and definitely not in her cramped moving car. But that would take time, and Mira always hated waiting. She's always believed that there's no such thing as the perfect time. The perfect time is just whenever she actually gets to do it. She takes a deep breath. Are we getting love confession? Are we getting confession? She has her eyes focused on the road, partly to make sure that they don't crash and die, but mostly because she knows that if she's going to do this, she can at least give herself the luxury of not looking. Can I tell you both something? Mira says softly. The eyes on her steering wheel are gentle. She's not afraid. Everything okay? Rumi asks. She puts her hand on Mira's shoulder and squeezes. You can tell us anything, Mira. Zoe pipes up, honest and sincere. You know that. Of course she knows. It's slow and steady, like the receding ocean, and gently says, I love you, both of you, so much that listen, I really think that I deserve either of you. I probably never will, but I guess I could spend the rest of my life trying. Oh my God. Her voice catches in her throat. She swallows, and it feels like gulping down a boiling urchin. She doesn't dare turn to look at them. I know that I'm sharp around the edges, Mira continues quietly, vulnerably. I know it's not easy knowing me. I'm not asking for more than that. I just want to tell you that I love you both, that I would do anything you'd ever ask of me, that I want to protect you from whatever stupid shit's thrown at us, that I would spend an entire day listening to Zoe's talk about hawk-billed turtles without getting up from the couch. I'd be more than happy to be the person to stitch up your teddy bear for you, Rumi. It's the least I could do for how much light you both bring to my life. I mean, God, how do I even repay either of you for that? She chuckles, but it feels odd against her upper ribs. She still doesn't look. And yeah, Mira finishes awkwardly. She wants to close her eyes and breathe in deep to steady herself, but she's driving. I just wanted to tell you before we got home. She can hear the gentle rumble of the car and the way her fingers taps on the steering wheel, and nothing else. Mira grips harder on the wheel. The rumble of the car beneath her feet feels less of a comfort now and more like a death sentence. She laughs again, mostly for her benefit, and it sounds so forced that she winces midway through. That was that was a lot. Yeah, sorry. You could just, I don't know, pretend I wasn't. She can't help it. She turns to look at them. For the first time since pre-debut, when they had fought so often during their training and stepped on each other's toes during dances, their faces are unreadable. Mira doesn't know what to say. Her mouth feels so dry that it rubs on her teeth like sandpaper, and she's genuinely considering just crashing the car against her side. But then Rumi reaches over to squeeze her shoulder. We love you too, Mira, Rumi says, warm and genuinely. Her smile is soft. Mira feels the tide in her stomach begin to crash down in relief. But then, we'd be lost without you. I mean that. You're the kind of best friend I hope I never lose. Guys, no. Oh, not friend zoning Mira. Oh no. Oh Jesus. R.I.P. Like, oh my god. Mira freezes. She almost slams on the brake. What? She manages to choke out. Yeah, Zoe agrees, bobbing her head up and down. Her frog bucket hat is staring into her soul this time, taunting her. What would we even do without you, you know? I can't even think what it would be like being on stage without your dissonances or your samgyetang. I'm gonna look at what that means. Um, for a K-pop fan, I don't know much Korean. Oh, it's ginseng chicken soup. Cool, 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 cool. Right, Mira says robotically. She should really just crash the car right now. Hey, Rumi, can we watch the videos of the seals that you took? Zoe asks, bouncing in her seat to lean closer to Rumi. My phone died midway through. I didn't get them playing with the trumpets, she complains. Rumi laughs, but she swipes away from her app to go looking for her videos. Can you send me the pictures of us with the jellyfish? She asks Zoe. I might change my profile pic to it. The lighting was nice. Right? Zoe gushes. Whatever Mira had said is forgotten, lost in their joy about their date, about their date not date at the aquarium, and would chatter about the places that they could hit up next. I have never related to someone more. That's untrue. I have related to more people, but I relate. I relate so much. Like, oh my god, I just want to say something to you. I just want to say something to people, and then it's like, nope, forgotten. Jesus Christ. She's fine with that. Uh, well, okay, but honestly, she's fine with that. They know that she loves them. Maybe not in the way that she truly does, but they know to some capacity. And that's all that she needs them to know. They know that Mira would do anything for them, that Mira adores them with her entire heart. And there's nothing more than that. And there's nothing more than that they need. And there's nothing more than that they need to bear in mind. Then that's they need to bear in mind. Oh my god, so many words happened that my brain was like, what the hell? And she knows that they adore her too, that they love her at least to some capacity, even it doesn't completely match with hers. And she's okay with that. More than okay. The fact that her girls want to be with her in any way at all, in any way at all, is already a blessing she would count for the rest of her life. She has them in her corner, always. Rumi presses in close near the console and turns up the volume on her phone. She can hear the seals coming from her phone. Rumi turns the screen so that Mira could see it better from the corner of her eye. They're all laughing together. The sound of joy that trails in the car is better than any perfume. Their apartment is nearing over the horizon. The song that's playing in the car is another love song, but she chalks it up to the strange shine of her eye. It's a strange look, a contemplative one, like she's thinking hard about something, deciding something, really. Mira turns her head to face her, to give her a look that asks for what she needs. Zoe gets whatever answer she's looking for with that 2-second look. And then she just smiles at her, tight-lipped, and shrugs, like they might be sharing a secret. But Mira is left there, still as confused as ever, and she pulls her eyebrows together at Zoe with that silent look for her to explain. Zoe glances between them, towards Rumi. She doesn't say anything, but Mira can read that curved upturn of the corner of her lips. Wait for her. Mira's eyes glide back towards the road. She exhales, and it's not as rocky as she had thought it would be. It feels like a cold breeze on a hot day on the rocks. Gentle, slow relief. Rumi's the one to show her the trending tags when they finally get home. She's in the middle of dropping off the paper bags on the kitchen counter when Rumi shoves her screen in front of her face and insists that she reads what's on it. It takes a moment for Mira to realize what it says. It's a caption from a news outlet. Not a very credible news outlet, but still. And it seems that people on the internet really love its new particular post. Mira of Huntrix stuns with her girlfriends with her visit to meet the new turtles at the local aquarium. It makes her laugh. All three of them do. It feels warm in her chest, and this particular laughter no longer feels so odd against her ribs. The notes real quick. There's only one person left in the Densatrix trio who needs to figure shit out. War is almost over, thank God. Also, thank you to whoever headcanoned Zoe's surname being Choi first, because I quite literally cannot imagine it being anything else. Yeah, I don't know who did that, but like whoever did, real SL. Next chapter will have some Celine closure, some angst, but mostly fluff, please believe me. I believe you. And the first concert of their tour, which will totally not be gay or anything. Here's some art of Mira getting jump scared by the Wolfiel by Oomphy. Wait, let me check that out. I'll show this to you guys. Oh my god. Look at that. What the fuck? That rolls. I think the concert is going to be really gay. Yeah. See, it's totally not gay. Oh, I forgot about the next chapter. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happens in the next chapter, so I'm just excited. I'm just really excited. Okay. I'm gonna like go to the next chapter and see. Oh, oh. Okay, I lied. This isn't the last concert chapter. Great. I wonder how long this chapter is. Looks long. It doesn't say though. It doesn't say in the summary. Okay. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. It's called OT3 Sunlight Sisters, which I'm really excited for. I love Sunlight Sisters stuff. Okay, y'all. How is it, y'all? How many chapters are there? There is 8. So I have 3 more left after this. But I'm thinking that I'll finish it in 2 more streams because the last chapter I checked it out and it's pretty short. I think I can fit that into the stream with the 7th chapter. My chapters are so short compared to this. A lot of people's chapters are very short compared to whatever Jamie is doing. Jamie loves to write. Hi, Artie. I stopped for snacks. Hi, Reef. Oh, God. I'm tired. That was a 4-hour, almost 4-hour. Gee, I wonder what happens next. Can't wait for chapter 6. Yay. Hi, bye. Yeah, I might go live as early as tomorrow. I'm not working this week because they didn't schedule me for work. So I might just go live. You think it's good now? Just wait. Oh, I'm excited. You guys are making me excited. Oh. Oh my god. I love that art. I was gonna look up something and then I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna look up. Well, isn't that just life? Damn. Reef, if you ever say damn in one of the streams that you're on, I will spell it right for you. Don't worry. Get through it. Ah. Okay, y'all. That's it for me. I'm very tired. It's 10:53. The Art of Spoiling Girls is awaiting you. I am very excited. How long is The Art of Spoiling Pretty Girls right now? Is it 50K? Or is it like 30? Because I remember seeing it, but I can't remember. What do you mean, right? What? 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 What do you mean, right? The Art of Spoiling Pretty Girls. I gotta read so I can catch up. What chapter you at? I just came to chapter 6. I just arrived at chapter 6. It's about 60K now, but it's unfinished. I got you. I got you. I got you. I okay, y'all. It's almost 8 p.m. for me. Well, that means you're 3 hours behind. Who's the author? Spell damn right. What do you mean? I'll spell damn the way you spell damn. That's what I mean. Even though I don't spell it like that, I'll do it for you. I'm telling you that I'll do it the way you say it, okay? I'm doing you a favor. Please say damn. Please say damn in our live stream. Please do. It's a damn good fit. I'm being bullied again, guys. No, it's okay. I'm just saying that I will spell damn the way you spell damn if you say damn. But if I say damn, I'll spell it D-A-M-N. God forbid. Bullied with love, I promise. I wonder if this is how British people feel when they interact with Americans. Oh my god, we got a Jamie. Jamie sent a candy bouquet. We have had a few Jamies, and in my mind, I'm like, is that the Jamie? But I don't know. I know that Jamie is probably awake right now. Jamie, is that you, or is it another Jamie? It's even harder to tell. Oh my god, it is Jamie! We got Jamie alive! We got Jamie alive! Let's go! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Yes! Yes! Let's go! I'm getting the entire royalty up in here. I'm getting the royalty on my politics royalty on my lives. I don't know when you joined, but thank you. I'm having so much fun with both this and Candy Floss. But I'm reading this on live because this was requested a lot. I've been lurking since you started live. See, it's always so hard to tell. Like because I check whoever's in the live sometimes, but I'm like, I don't know. And also there were a couple of Jamies that came and went, so I wasn't sure. Are you just casually collecting fake authors like Pokemon? I mean, Jamie loves their streamers, so Jamie's lurking everywhere, so it is an honor and a pleasure. Yeah, someone draw all the fanfic authors as Pokemon and already as a trainer. Lol, that's very funny. Artie, pretty soon you're going to have all the fic authors in your polycule. Jamie, do you want to join the polycule? No, please don't. Actually, please don't. We would scare you off the day you joined. I don't even know if Jamie knows about the polycule lore. Fic authors are Power Rangers and Artie is Zordon. It's been so long since I've watched the Power Rangers, so I don't know what that means. But thanks, I guess. Jamie, it's a canon event. Everyone's required to join the polycule. The whole Discord's a polycule. While you still can. Oh my god. This is the craziest. We certainly scared Toss. It's so funny because Toss is active sometimes in the Discord. And she has access to the Megacule. But she does not write anything, which I do not blame her for. Come to the dark side, Jamie. We have cookies. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, she has what? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She has access, baby. No, run. No, Jamie, I'm so serious. But if you don't, if you choose not to interact with the polycule stuff, it's pretty cute. Anyways, I'm gonna end the YouTube stream, so that will be there to view.